Welcome back to NBA Imperialism and NBA 2K23. We got a new one here for you. The rosters of 2015 and 2016 season. I know 2015 was a simpler time. Barack Obama was still in office. COVID was being cooked up in a Chinese lab. And of course, Kevin Durant was still on the Oklahoma City Thunder. But the 2015 season was one of the more memorable ones. It was a time when the Warriors went down 3-1 to the Thunder, and then they overcame in the Western Conference Finals. And then the Warriors went up 3-1 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then they crumbled as Kyrie Irving hit that game-winning shot. Kevin Love showed agility he has never shown since, guarding Steph Curry on a game-tying 3 as the clock was ticking down in the 2016 Finals. But that is a story for another day. We are doing NBA Imperialism with these all teams. I did my best to make sure that some of the logos were accurate. Like the Timberwolves, you see, they got an older logo. You got the Nuggets with their older Carmelo Anthony logo as well. But if you don't know anything about NBA Imperialism, it works something like this. We hop into a browser here. There's every single team on this wheel. As you spin the wheel, it determines which team is going to be on the move, on the offensive, as every single team looks to take over the United States of America. Interestingly enough, the Cleveland Cavaliers are on the list. So you go over to the map and you say, all right, the Cleveland Cavaliers are right here. We're going to pick a direction for them to go. If they go south, they go into, West Virginia, and they say, all right, we're going to take over this land. We're going to color it in with whatever color, orange, burgundy, the Cleveland Cavaliers are. Cleveland Cavaliers goes, southeast, and they take over this land, and they get a 1 overall boost to whichever player I deem necessary, because LeBron James is already a 99 overall, as you may have seen, so it would probably go to Kyrie Irving. Let's say they went to the east. They would have to take on the Philadelphia 76ers in a 1-game single elimination tournament of who is the better team in 2015, the Cavs or the 76ers, who were in the middle of the process at this time. So the Cavaliers would win this. What they would do is they would take over this state, get the 1 overall boost, and get the best player from the Philadelphia 76ers roster, which isn't really all that much. You look at the 76ers roster, I do play with injuries off, so I had to drop Joel Embiid's rating to basically an F. He's like a 80 something, but he has injuries. He was completely out for this entire season. This was the first year he was drafted number 3 overall, right? Number 3, 2014. He did not play the season due to, I believe, a back or a knee. Joel Embiid always has had something going on. So the way that this is determined is the wheel of justice, the wheel of fortune. We spin this arrow and it determines you want the Cavaliers to go south. And in this scenario, we would have them take over whatever this state is that I'm not buying time currently to determine. It is Kentucky, just like I would tell everybody. So that is the rules. If you're confused, don't worry, stick along, enjoy the ride, because we are in for a long one. Let's go to the wheel and see who is going to be the first team of NBA Imperialism in 2015. And that is going to be the Atlanta Hawks. Believe these are the Al Horford days. Go over to their roster. You remember back in the day, they were the number 1 seed against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Paul Millsap, Al Horford, Jeff Teague, a young Dennis Schroeder. Kyle Korver was just lights out from 3. Thabo Sefolosha. I don't know if this was the season, but they were always a really fun team to watch. Kind of embraced a lot of the modern analytics that today's NBA is filled with. They didn't have the star power of a LeBron James. And one thing of note as we go through these rosters is I'm using a custom roster, and a lot of the ages and overalls were wrong. I did my best to fix them. I think Jimmy Butler's age is wrong here. He's probably like 20, 28 at this point. I did my best to make sure that all the rosters were accurate to the time. The guy who created this roster clearly did not, but I did like the top 4 or 5 players, made sure they were accurate, and the rest doesn't really matter because it's not important how old Iman Shumpert is in NBA Imperialism. So what direction are the Atlanta Hawks going to go? Spin the wheel of fortune, and they will be going east. Can they even go east? We look at the map. The Atlanta Hawks, they can. That's South Carolina, right? Me? Yes, it is. Boy, I'm so smart and not pulling up a map behind the scenes that you guys can't see. The first move of NBA Imperialism is an uninspired one, but the Atlanta Hawks march into South Carolina, take it over. They're infringing on the Charlotte Hornets, and we'll be giving them the 1 overall boost in just a second. Look at their roster. They had Paul Millsap back in the day. Big Al Horford, when he was on the Hawks, he was a monster. And then what happened? He went to the Celtics, was okay. Went to the 76ers, was bad. Went to the Thunder, didn't play, and then came back to the Celtics nowadays, and he's just old as dirt. But we're going to bump him up to an 85 overall. He's going to get a 1 overall boost. You got Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Chris Humphries. Do you remember the Kardashian scandals with him? Kent Bazemore back when he was pretty good. Mike Muscala, Mike Scott, Tiago Splitter. Man, some of these names are memorable. And we're going to pop off the Atlanta Hawks off this wheel for the first round. I like to do every single team once, and then we actually get into the more imperialism nature where we don't remove teams unless they get eliminated. That means the Indiana Pacers are going to be the next team on the list. You go to the Pacers on the map. What direction could they go? They're kind of squished. You got the Cavs, who they really don't want to play right now because they got LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. You got the Bulls, who you kind of don't want to play right now. You got Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah when he was still good. The Pistons, maybe, or they could just go south and get a 1 overall boost as well. But let's see, what direction are they going to go? Bam, spin the wheel of fortune for the Pacers. They go I'm going to say that this is the Bulls because it doesn't make a lot of sense. They can't go to the Bucks. Doesn't make sense for the Pistons. So yeah, we're going to do Pacers at Bulls. Really exciting matchup for the first round of NBA Imperialism. And taking a quick peek at these rotations, we got the Bulls with Jimmy Butler coming into his prime. Derrick Rose, I believe this is after the injuries have started to throttle him down. Only an 83 overall at this point. Pau Gasol, super old at this point, definitely not 26 years old. He's just on the tail end of his career, probably retired pretty soon after his stint in the Bulls. Nikola Mirotic, I remember he and Bobby Portis got into a fight. He used to be a sharp shooter, and then he just left after getting punched in the face. I think they broke his jaw. Taj Gibson, supposed to be Carlos Boozer 2.0. Joakim Noah started to be really bad at this point. Bobby Portis got traded away. Mike Dunleavy, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Dougie McBuckets, Tony Snell, Kirk Heinrich. As for the Pacers, they have a young Paul George in his prime at this point, 92 overall, carrying the Pacers every single season, trying to compete against LeBron James, ultimately coming up short year after year. George Hill, remember he got traded away for Kawhi Leonard, unfortunate. Monte Ellis, Jan Mahinmi, a young Miles Turner, Solomon Hill, CJ Miles. Is Danny Granger still on the roster? No, but Ty Lawson is. Gonna be a good one. George Hill versus Derrick Rose, kind of similar overalls at this point. Rodney Stuckey versus Jimmy Buckets is going to be a complete mismatch, but so is Paul George versus Nikola Mirotic. Taj Gibson versus Solomon Hill, and Jan Mahinmi versus an old Pau Gasol. And as we always do, we're going to watch the first few possessions of the game and then simcast throughout the entirety of it to see who becomes the winner of NBA Imperialism Round 1. Derrick Rose brings the ball up the court, passes it immediately to Jimmy Buckets at this point. Remember, Jimmy kind of asserted himself on those Derrick Rose consecutive injury seasons. Here is Derrick Rose getting beat up by George Hill. Got that long wingspan on him, and he just kicks it to a Taj Gibson who comes in, pump fakes, misses, and Paul George grabs the rebound, bringing the ball up the other way. One thing that I do want to note is that I changed the difficulty. We always play on Hall of Fame, but the CPU versus CPU sliders are terrible as... Who was that? Was that Lance Stevenson? Rodney Stuckey? Somebody made a grade 3 there. So I wanted to get the games a little more interesting instead of just every single score being an either offensive rebound putback or a wide open cutter. Maybe they'll actually make some jump shots on pro difficulty as Paul George strips Nikola Mirotic, embarrassingly coming up the court the other way, slows it down, got a wide open Solomon Hill under the basket, and he throws it down. Quick, easy 5-point lead for the Indiana Pacers as we're getting a highlight of Solomon Hill. Can you believe that? Or is a sentence coming out of my mouth? Hopping into Simcast here, the Pacers have a huge first quarter lead, but the Bulls battle back. Remember, the Bulls were a great defensive team back in the day. Really interesting score here into the third quarter. Only 67-60 going into the fourth. Close game. We may have to hop in. Bulls starting to dominate there in the fourth quarter. It looks like this is going to be a blowout. About a 15-point deficit. The Pacers just could not score and keep up 95-83. Kind of a disappointing game. All things 83, the Bulls win, and look at Jimmy Butler's stats, 34, 11, and 8. Unreal night from him. Derrick Rose gave you a 23-6, but look at these turnovers. 7 for Buckets, 5 for Derrick Rose. Nikola Mirotic was solid, 11. Joakim Noah gave you a 9 and 9. Taj Gibson gave you 8 and 8. Not too bad. As for the losing Pacers, George Hill gave you a 15 and 5. Ugh. Miles Turner gave you 15 and 8. Ugh. And Paul George in 41 minutes gave you 13. This is the story of Paul George's career. He always comes up a little bit short as they lose here in Imperialism. Rodney Stuckey gave you 12. Yeah, the Pacers are just not a good team. No surprises here. And hopping into Photoshop, Pacers, Indiana officially going to become burnt red of the Chicago Bulls. Pacers logo is gone as the Bulls get a little bit of a size boost. They're going to be taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers soon, just like they did in real life. Paul George, the best player on the Pacers, is going to come over and be the new 92 overall, highest overall player on the Bulls. Now, one thing you guys did tell me to do is make sure that the 1 overall boosts go to players that are actually originally on the team. So even though PG is a 92, we could elevate him to a 93. We're going to bump Jimmy Buckets up to an 89 overall now. And they got a pretty competitive squad here. Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Taj Gibson, Al Gasol. Like, they're not, Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, but they're certainly a menacing, fearsome team to be reckoned with. And as the Pacers lose, make sure they get off the wheel, bam, as the spinner gets thinner. Next up on the wheel for Imperialism in the year 2015 of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is a young Milwaukee Bucks squad. All right, we go to the map. Where could the Bucks theoretically go? They got the Timberwolves as always, and then there's a whole bunch of free real estate here. I don't even know what it's not the Pacific Northwest. It's just north-ish, west-ish of America. That's not the coast. No sports teams whatsoever. You got the Pistons to the east and the north. You got the Timberwolves to the west. You got the Bulls south of you, and then you got a free, Iowa, Ohio, whatever this damn state is. And we'll give the wheel of fortune a spin. Where do the young Milwaukee Bucks want to go? And it looks like they want to attack that free state here, which means I have to look up what the name of that state is as I'm buying time here to tell you it's actually Iowa. Duh. How did you not know it was Iowa? I swear, you people are ridiculous. There we go. The Milwaukee Bucks kind of got this weird little passage between the Bulls and the Timberwolves. I always like making fun shapes in these Imperialism videos. And do not forget to make sure that Giannis gets the 1 overall boost. You look at this team, Giannis, super young at this point, 83 overall, did not win his MVPs yet. Chris Middleton's coming along nicely. Wow, what happened? Greg Monroe. I forgot he even played basketball. Wow. Jabari Parker, supposed to be like the next tandem duo with Giannis Antetokounmpo, but man, injuries just held that man down. Wasn't he a number 2 pick? Yeah. Brutal. Jared Bayless. Y'all remember when he was still in the league? Michael Carter-Williams, Miles Plumlee, OJ Mayo out of USC was a stud. John Henson. That's right. He always wore a t-shirt when he played. That's what I remember about him. Not very good, but anyway, Giannis Antetokounmpo gonna get the overall boost up to an 84 overall. Bucks come off the wheel, and the next team on the list is going to be the Rockets. Nah, it's gonna be the Spurs, and this was when they were still good. This is before Kawhi Leonard got all of his injuries and tried to alienate Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. So you have Kawhi, 95 overall. You have a free agent, LaMarcus Aldridge, who earns way too much money, 84 overall. Timmy Duncan before he retired. Tony Parker before he got sent away to the Hornets. If y'all remember that. Danny Green, Manu Ginobili before he retired. Boris Diaw, who was pivotal to their championship runs. Patty Mills, Kyle Anderson, Matt Boner, my favorite player in the NBA. I love Boner. Boban, David West. Wow, they had Jonathan Simmons. I remember he was supposed to be the next big thing. Oh, this team. What a fun roster they were. But you look at the Spurs and you say, what direction could the Spurs theoretically go? They're in Texas, so you're really trapped. If you angle the arrow in such a way, I could consider giving them New Mexico. It's New Mexico, duh. Otherwise, they're going to have to take on one of the Texas teams. It's pretty much as simple as that. Spin the wheel of fortune. What direction are the Spurs going to go? And can they even go that direction? Is that the Rockets? I can't pick. I don't know what direction that is, so we're going to spin it again. And the Spurs go the exact same direction. Come on, wheel. Come on, you're supposed to be random. Go northeast, south. You just keep picking the same direction. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, wheel? Stop it. I can't go that way. This wheel is testing me right now. It's testing my damn patience. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I need some sort of northish direction here. All right, they're going directly north. You look at that. That could be really anywhere. That could be any of these 3 states. I think. All right, follow me on this. Follow me on my trail of logic here. You look at the wheel, UK. Okay, they're going directly north, straight north. No, fuzzy button, kind of a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. This is straight north. So you go look at San Antonio, which is right here in Texas. The straight north, if you put them like tiny on a map right here, straight north would get you right about here. So I'm saying it's Spurs at the Mavericks. We have to do a little bit of finagling here, but we can make it work. And a quick look at the Mavericks roster before we hop in. This is a old ass Dirk Nowitzki, already won his championships, already won his MVPs. Now he's just here to really exist and not be a very good player, but he made all-star games and he's just one of the greatest Mavericks of all time. So you love Dirk. Anybody who's ever rooted for the Mavs knows Dirk Nowitzki's name. Chandler Parsons, while he was stealing money for the Mavericks. Do you remember his contract? He got paid more than guys like Kobe Bryant did. It was ridiculous. Deron Williams. Oh my gosh, I remember him playing. Remember when the conversation was who's the better point guard, Deron Williams or Cliff Paul? Wesley Matthews, a young Wes. JaVale McGee. JJ Barea, he's like 5'6", a young Dwight Powell. Devin Harris. Zaza Pacheap, as y'all know him. Justin Anderson, Ray Felton, Ben Gordon, Charlie Villanueva. That is a name I have not heard in a long time. Spurs at the Mavs. Tony Parker versus Deron Williams. Actually going to be a pretty fun matchup. Tony Parker's older and Deron Williams is bad. Danny Green versus Wes Matthews. Two similar archetypes. And then Kawhi Leonard versus Chandler Parsons. Oof. Tell me who you got. LaMarcus Aldridge versus Dirk Nowitzki. Actually another battle of similar players. And Timmy Duncan versus JaVale McGee. Probably not too much of a competition there. Welcome to NBA Imperialism, the Texas edition. Spurs at Dallas. And here is the tip-off. Remember, Timmy Duncan is only like 6'10", so he probably doesn't win this. And JaVale McGee wins the tip. Deron Williams brings the ball up the court. What happened? Was he just injured all the time? Why was he such a bad player? As we get a wide-open three for Chandler Parsons, who misses. I know. Surprise. Shock. Chandler Parsons missed. And Kawhi Leonard, wow, just what a great player. In his prime at this point. I think he's still a little young, but this was before the injuries. Kawhi's prime was when he was like 19. Let's be honest here. Timmy Duncan gets the ball in the paint, 3 in the key, puts it up, and it's an easy 2 points for your San Antonio Spurs. Wes Matthews bringing the ball up the other way. An aging Dirk with the crazy hairstyles. He always had long hair, short hair. He always just looked like a funny 7-footer taking the weirdest shots. Wes Matthews takes a weird shot, and he makes it. Okay, we got a 2-2 game here. Hopping into Simcast, and we have a big dominating lead for the Spurs. I expect the Spurs to fully dominate this game, not even be close. So here we are in the fourth quarter. It's almost a 30-point game, and that is too little, too late. 32-point quarter. Wow. Did you see the Mavericks scored 4 points in the first quarter? Yikes. Deron Williams was 15, 3, and 5. JJ Barea gave you 15, 1, and 6. Chandler Parsons, 12. Devin Harris, 11. Wes Matthews, 10. Dirk only had 7 points. He's like a million years old, though, at this point. As for the Spurs, Kawhi was pretty dominant, 23, 16, and 7. Wow. Timmy D gave you a 17 and 8. Manu Ginobili, 16 and 9. Patty Mills, 11 out the bench. Tony Parker, 10 and 11. And Danny Green gave you a 10. Even LaMarcus Aldridge was okay at 8 and 11. Boris Diaw gave you 8. Kyle Anderson gave you 8. The Spurs are just such a stacked team. I don't remember if it was the 2016 or 2017 playoffs where Zaza put that big old foot underneath Kawhi Leonard, but the Spurs were legitimately in competition with the Kevin Durant Warriors to win the whole damn thing. That was just how good and how deep their team was. No surprises. Kawhi Leonard going to get the 1 overall boost up to a 96 overall, and Dirk Nowitzki coming over to take, I guess, maybe the starting power forward role away from LaMarcus Aldridge. Or looks like the rotations want him to come off the bench as a 6-man. Anyway, having Dirk as a 6-man ain't too bad. This is what imperialism is all about. The Spurs march into Dallas and say, get the hell off the map, as I say Dallas weirdly. And their logo gets big, trying to take over the entire state of Texas. Come over to the browser. We'll take the Spurs off because they made their turn, and then the Mavericks are gone. Off the wheel, the spinner gets thinner. Next team on the list, hopefully we can get some just basic boring overall boosts as the Houston Rockets, the last of the Texas teams, want to turn. Okay. So Houston is always squished here, but they have a pretty good team. I believe they have James Harden at this point. Do they have Cliff Paul or Russell Westbrook on their team? I don't remember. Anyway, they're going to be taking on the Pelicans with a young Anthony Davis or this monstrous Spurs squad. That's really the only directions that they could possibly go. Look at the wheel, spin the wheel, and what direction do the Rockets end up going? And that is directly north. That is unfortunately taking on the Spurs yet again. So Rockets at the Spurs. I don't think we looked at the Rockets yet, but this was actually the Dwight Howard days before Cliff Paul and before Russell Westbrook. So James Harden, MVP caliber at this point, 95 overall, just puts up 37 points a game in that one season when he won MVP. Dwight Howard, supposed to be a great pickup, and it just never worked out for him and James Harden. Trevor Ariza was a really solid piece for them. Michael Beasley, I don't know if this is what he looks like, but he was the number 2 pick, right? Yeah, he was the number 2 pick back when the Heat built the Heatles, and then I don't know if he got traded away or if he just never developed, but what a disappointing player he turned out to be. Clint Capella, probably super young at this point, has not arrived. Patrick Beverley's on the team. Montrezl Harrell, Corey Brewer, Dantes Montejunas, Terrence Jones, Marcus Thornton, Sam Decker, probably an old Jason Terry at this point, KJ McDaniels, Chuck Hayes. Gonna be a good one. Patrick Beverley versus Tony Parker, Danny Green versus James Harden. Yikes. Kawhi Leonard versus Trevor Ariza, Montrezl Harrell versus LaMarcus Aldridge, and Timmy Duncan versus Dwight Howard. If James Harden can be MVP, there's always a chance for the Rockets to win. That's kind of been how it is for the last 10 years when the Rockets were just going to the playoffs every single season and then coming up a little bit short. If he's anything less than like 40 points tonight, they're probably going to get blown out because the Spurs are a good squad top to bottom. Spurs win the tip. Kawhi Leonard immediately gets the ball picked up by Trevor Ariza, who's a pretty good defender, so I don't think it's going to be a complete mismatch. There you go. Pull up from the corner and misses. All right, Dwight Howard bringing the ball up the court. Now it's James Harden who has the ball. He's just wide open. He's just pulling up a three, and he is missing embarrassingly. Kawhi Leonard grabs the rebound and goes the other way. 0-0 so far after the first few possessions here in San Antonio. Tony Parker, D'd up by Patrick Beverley. Just a lot of good defenders on this Houston squad. Oh boy. Oh boy, Trevor got cooked, and Kawhi Leonard throws down the dunk. What happened? Just the post-up did not work, and Tony Parker put up a perfect entry pass. See if the Rockets can respond here. James Harden being picked up by Danny Green. Montrezl Harrell is playing power forward. That's going to be a problem. So is Dwight Howard trying to do a post move. That never worked out for the entirety of his career, except in China. He's killing it for the Shanghai Sharks. Here at halftime, a really low-scoring contest, so there is potential of an upset. Now at this point, though, it's 80-65. The Spurs are just stomping all over the Rockets, and that is going to be all she wrote. 125-101. Kawhi Leonard was solid, 26, 11, and 6. Wow, LaMarcus Aldridge gave you a 20-9 game. That'll work. Tony Parker, 17-9. Danny Green gave you 12 off the bench. Dirk gave you 11. Boris Diaw gave you 11. Yeah, pretty good. And now Danny Green is going to be replaced by James Harden. This Spurs squad might be the new favorites. Looking at the Rockets, Trevor Ariza was their highest scorer. 24 and 8. What happened? James Harden, 20 points on 17 shots, 4 of 11 from the 3. Not great. Michael Beasley was Corey Brewer was bad. Dwight Howard gave you 5 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists in 34 minutes. That's just why the Rockets never worked out. They couldn't find that chemistry between Dwight and James. And don't look now, but James Harden is the latest San Antonio Spur. I don't think Greg Popovich is going to like playing with him, but he's a damn good player, and Kawhi Leonard gets bumped up to a 97 overall. So at this point, it's Tony Parker, which will work, then James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki. That is a Hall of Fame caliber team right there. They should be the clear favorites. As for Houston, thank you for trying, but you are officially gone as the San Antonio Spurs continue to grow. They have taken over all of Texas, and now let's see if they can take over the other 49 states. I guess, what, 47 since Alaska and Hawaii don't count. There you go. The Rockets get off the spinner, and the spinner gets thinner. Next team on the advance, on the attack is going to be, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant Thunder. I hope they don't take on the Spurs because I don't want to see the Spurs play, 3 games in a row. So they need to go basically any direction that isn't directly south. All right, can you do that for me? Can you do that for me, Arrow? What do I pay you for? I got to pay off the Arrow, and they want to go the northeast. That looks to me like the Nuggets. That'll work. Thunder at Nuggets. Taking a quick look at the rosters. Kevin Durant, a young Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant was still a monster. 96 overall. Russell Westbrook, just before he won his MVP, 95 overall. Back when he was able to shoot his free throws. Back when he was a decent three-point shooter as well. I miss this version of Russ. Serge Ibaka, if y'all remember him, he was a monster as well. Part of their kind of big three. A young Steven Adams at this point. I think he had a kind of a crew cut going back in the day. He didn't have the beard and the long hair looking like Aquaman. Andre Roberson. Oh, what a sad story he was. Inez Freedom when he was Inez Cantor. Nick Collison, everybody's favorite white guy on the Thunder. Dion Waiters used to be a bit of a stud. Was athletic, but injuries just destroyed him. Cam Bain before he got booted out of the league. Anthony Morrow was really bad. Mitch McGarry. Kyle Singler, another one of their famous white guys. John Hustis. Naz Mohammed. He kind of bounced around the league for a while, didn't he? They don't have any of his stats ever. Good stuff. As for the Nuggets, they have Danilo Gallinari as their best player. A young Nikola Jokic before he jumped onto the scene. Kenneth Faried, just the smallest, the kind of Trez Harrell 2.0, undersized, hardworking rebound guy. Just wasn't good at anything on the offensive end. a young Gary Harris, Will Barton, Yusuf Nurkic before he got traded away for the Blazers, Emmanuel Mudiay, Randy Foye, DJ Augustin, who is still in the league. Who's this? Joffrey Laverne, never heard of you. Darrell Arthur, pretty bad. Mike Miller, okay, he was on the team. Jameer Nelson, JJ Hickson. Where's he from? North Carolina State, that's right. He was, I think he was on the Pacers for a while and just never really developed. Anyway, not a good Denver Nuggets squad. You got Russell Westbrook versus DJ Augustin. Oof. Andre Roberson versus Gary Harris. Kevin Durant versus Will Barton. Oof. Serge Ibaka versus Kenneth Faried. Oof. And Steven Adams versus Nikola Jokic. Probably the only decent matchup. Of course, Nikola Jokic was an MVP at this point. He was just a raw second round pick who looked overweight and out of shape. But here you have it. Thunder at the Nuggets. Jokic versus Steven Adams. I miss this Thunder team. They were so much fun to watch. So much athleticism, so much potential. They had James Harden before you traded him away for, who's it, Kevin Martin? What a yikes deal that was, hindsight 2020. Here's Russ being picked up by DJ Augustin, and he's just going to drive and pull up. Nope, Kevin Durant open for three. Splash. No stranger to that sight as Kevin Durant makes his first three of the game. We got a 3-0 lead here in Denver. How are the Nuggets going to respond? Remember, Danilo Gallinari is their currently best player with an 82 overall. Nikola Jokic going to do it his best. Fadeaway, jumper, missed. And let's see what the Thunder do in response. I hope they make another three. Right here, just pull up. Nope. Defaulting to Russ here, letting him dribble the ball. Steven Adams comes around, sets the screen. And I don't know what's happening. Andre Roberson can't shoot. Never could, never will. But he was an elite lockdown defender back in the day. Russ jacks up a three, misses, and we're going to hop into Simcast here in the first quarter. A little bit of a lead here for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Closer game than I thought. Only 9-point deficit, about 13 here at halftime. Maybe the Nuggets can go on a little bit of a push here into the third quarter. Only a 10-point game. Like I said, it's NBA 2K single elimination tournament, so anybody can do anything in one game. Let's say Danilo Gallinari gets hot and drops like 35, and Joker plays a good game. Really close game, actually. About 3 minutes left. We'll hop in about 2:15. Is a good game. 107-105. Who knew the Thunder at the Nuggets was going to be the first good game that we see? DJ Augustin running around, gets the ball. Russell Westbrook picking him up. We got Nick Collison on the floor. Enes Kanter. No Kevin Durant. That's smart. I wouldn't want to put in Kevin Durant. As Danilo Gallinari splashes and the Thunder have their first deficit of the game. Wow, put in Kevin Durant, please. What are you guys doing? Kevin Durant and Steven Adams just waiting to check in. Russell Westbrook bringing the ball up the court. They're not going to call a timeout because 2K is a broken game. And Enes Kanter is running off screens. Here he goes, sets it. Russ, double screen, not picked up, steps back, pump fakes, looking like DeMar DeRozan, doesn't have anything. Andre Roberson now stuck with the ball. He's going to try to create. Good luck, Thunder fans, as Andre Roberson is pulling up and making it. Andre Roberson looking like the second coming of Kevin Durant. How are the Nuggets going to respond? Joker's wide open. Enes Kanter can't do anything, but he deflects the shot. Joker misses. Danilo Gallinari from the elbow. Misses again, and Nick Collison pulls down the rebound. Russ sprints up the court the other way. We got a back and forth game here. Dogfight. Punches being thrown. Haymakers, if you will. And Russ is being picked up. He's going to try to attack Nikola Jokic's lack of defense, and he goes right around, kicks it, and Enes Kanter puts up the floater. It is now a 3-point lead. I got a little worried. I thought the Nuggets might have a chance after Gallo splashed that three, but it looks like this one is going to the Thunder. 1 minute left. The Nuggets need to respond as they're rocking the double center lineup. Yusuf Nurkic and Nikola Jokic in at the same time. Probably not a good formula for spacing. Joker, another tough pull, fading away. Three, misses everything, and now Kevin Durant and Steven Adams are checking in. Really poor shot quality from the future MVP. Inbound is in. The Nuggets need to stop bad. Gary Harris is picking up Russell Westbrook. That's a good switch. Russ is wide open here. Nope, that's Andre Roberson. And he kicks it to Steven Adams, who puts it up and in. 2 more points. Steven Adams with the baby junk hook. That is way too close to the paint. No defense is being played. The knock against Nikola Jokic. Why he fell into the second round. Nuggets need a response bad. Who's going to get the shot for them? Jokic being picked up by Steven Adams. Another fading fading two. Makes this one. Again, the shot quality is very poor. He's capable of making this shot. That's not the kind of shot you want to generate when you're losing this poorly. Russell Westbrook on a bit of a fast break, being picked up full court. He's going to get fouled by DJ Augustine, picking up his 5th foul. And they are officially playing the foul game. Can Russell Westbrook hit his free throws? He dribbles, he looks at the rim, and he puts it up for the first free throw. And he missed! Russ is choking. The door is wide open for a Denver Nuggets comeback. Second free throw's up and in. 4-point game, timeout. Nuggets need a score, a stop, and a score. Down by 4 points, 27 seconds left in this game. And Will Barton's going to grab the inbound pass, being picked up by Kevin Durant. That's not a good matchup. Joker's right under the hoop, though. There's 2 points. Now they got a foul. I don't know why we need a highlight of a layup, but thank you, 2K, for this. And Russell Westbrook, once again, going to be shooting the free throws. This is why Kevin Durant was driven off the Thunder, because he didn't want to be the Robin to Russell Westbrook's Batman. He wanted to be his own dude. And Russ's free throw is up and in. 54%, but he makes it. This one's going to be clutch. 2-possession lead if he makes it, and it's up and in, and this game is pretty much over. 116-112. The Nuggets need a 3 bad at this point. 2 points doesn't even cut it. Down by 4. Will Barton just dribbling the air out of the ball, then pulls up, and he misses, and that is going to be game. The Denver Nuggets still going to try to play the foul game, but they ultimately fall to the Thunder. 118-114. Played valiantly. Gallo had that huge 3, and then they just didn't pass the ball to him anymore. 30 points on 15 shots for him. Nikola Jokic was great. 28, 12, and 9. And then Will Barton gave you 14 and 5. Gary Harris gave you 13. Kenneth Faried gave you 9. Just not enough wing help for them. As for the Thunder, Kevin Durant, 27 points. Russ had a 19, 9, and 19 game. What? Serge Ibaka even gave him 18 points and 7 rebounds. Inez Freedom gave you 14. Steven Adams gave you 11. And Dion Waiters gave you 9 off the bench. The best player right now by 3 overall points is Danilo Gallinari. So he's going to be sent over to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are going to be in a dogfight against the Warriors and against the Spurs. This is when the West was the best and the East was the least. But you look at this team. I'm going to give Kevin Durant that 1 overall boost. We all know that he's better than Russell Westbrook, at least a little bit. So it's going to be Russ, Andre Roberson, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams, and then Gallo off the bench. I just can't think of a scenario where like Kevin Durant plays shooting guard. He's just too tall. So that'll be fine. And unfortunately for the Nuggets, their area is going to be dominated by burnt orange of the Thunder as the Nuggets are gone. Got a little fun area here for the Thunder to sneak through from Oklahoma to Denver, Colorado. What's the word? Which one's the state and which one's the city? I always forget. And take the Nuggets off the wheel. They are gone. The spinner gets thinner. Round 1 of NBA Imperialism 2015. And the New York Knickerbockers are the next one. I think that's our first East Coast team. So you go over to the Knicks and you say, all right, this was, I believe, the Carmelo Anthony days. Also, I don't know if the Brooklyn Nets were Brooklyn or if they were New Jersey at this point. It's 2015. They were bad. It was, they were bad. That's all I remember. You see the Knicks are in an interesting spot. They could take on the Raptors. They could take on the 76ers, the Celtics. They could take a free state like Vermont or New Hampshire, or whatever those states are up in the corner that nobody remembers. But let's spin the wheel for the Knicks. And what direction does New York stand up want to go? That looks like immediately attacking Canada. That's what I like to see. This is American imperialism, baby. We're not gonna go after some soft thing like New Jersey or Delaware. Nah, we're taking over Canada. We're coming after Justin Trudeau. Taking a quick peek at the rosters, you got the Carmelo Anthony Knicks. I remember these days, Melo was just unstoppable. You remember, I forget who it was against, but Melo pulled up from the hash like 3 times in a row and just splashed threes in their face in the 4th quarter. Okay, can I watch that? Oh, it was against the Bulls? All right. And then he dribbles, and he pulls up, and he just splashes right in Taj Gibson's face from the hash. Oh, man. And then they're in overtime. J.R. Smith misses. What else is new? Taj kicks it out, and then they just go, Melo, get this ball, take us home, and he goes to the same spot. Oh, I remember this. Oh, is that Luol Deng? And he just pulls up right in his face. Splash! Oh, Prime Melo was something else. Okay, what were we doing? Oh, yeah. The NBA Imperialism 2015. So we have Carmelo Anthony. I've dropped him down to an 89 on the Knicks. I just don't think he ever quite reach that 90 overall sort of club. He has the skills and the talent, but he never was able to put it all together in the right season. Kristaps Porzingis, a young Kristaps, before his ACLs fell out from underneath him. Robin Lopez was an 80 overall. Jose Calderon, Aaron Aflalo, Derek Williams, Kyle O'Quinn. Oh, I remember him. He was frustrating to watch. Jimmer Fredette. He played like 2 games in the NBA. Wow, Kevin Seraphin, Langston Galloway. I don't know who this is. Thanasis? I don't think he's on the team. Lance Thomas was, and Sasha Vujacic. He went to the Lakers, I remember. As for the Raptors, they have DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. This was back when the Raptors were good. Jonas Valanciunas was super young. DeMar Carroll was a solid player. Norman Powell, Terrence Ross, Bismack Biyombo, Patrick Patterson. He's one of those guys who played on like every single team. James Johnson was pretty young at this point. Corey Joseph, Luis Scola, Bruno Caboclo, a young DeLon Wright, Lucas Nogueira. I don't remember him, man. Anthony Bennett. Oh, man. Anthony Bennett, former #1 overall pick. What a failure he was. Enough messing around. Knicks at the Raptors. Jose Calderon versus Kyle Lowry. Aaron Aflalo versus DeMar DeRozan. Carmelo Anthony versus DeMar Carroll. Patrick Patterson versus Kristaps Porzingis. And Robin Lopez versus Jonas Valanciunas. Gonna be a good one. My money is on... I'm gonna go with the Raptors. I think they were a little better at this point. I think Carmelo Anthony is probably the best player of the 3, although it's close. And Kristaps Porzingis just never really made it on the Knicks. He wasn't even great on the Mavericks. He had 1 good season on the Knicks, then got hurt. And then I guess right now is probably the best he's played in his whole career for the Washington Wizards. Anyway, Knicks win the tip. Knicks have the ball. Robin Lopez gonna throw up a jump hook, right? Hook. Makes it right through Jonas Valanciunas. Unable to play any defense whatsoever, and it is a 2-0 lead for America. DeMar DeRozan bringing the ball up the court the other way. Just pulls up from mid as he is wont to do. Misses, and Carmelo Anthony bringing the ball up the court the other way. He just pulls up long 2. Bang! 4-0 for the Knicks. Prime Carmelo Anthony was a joy to watch. Into the second quarter, we have a little bit of lead here for America. Going into the third, and it looks like America is better than Canada. Confirmed. Checkmate Liberals as the New York Knicks blow out the Toronto Raptors. It wasn't even close. Kyle Lowry was okay, 24-1-7. DeMar gave you 20 and 10. Patrick Patterson gave you 16. Jonas Valanciunas gave you 4 and 5. That's not ideal. As for Carmelo Anthony, 27 points for him. Jose Calderon outplayed Kyle Lowry? You kidding me? 22 and 12. Kristaps Porzingis 21 and 12, and Robin Lopez gave you 15. Kyle O'Quinn gave you 14. Jimmer Fredette scored 12 points. What is this game? So you look at the Raptors. I could take DeMar or Kyle or even theoretically Jonas Valanciunas. I think DeMar is a little bit better of a player than Kyle Lowry was in the Raptors days. They're basically 1 and 1A, kind of figuring out how to make that work. But DeMar DeRozan a little bit better, and of course Carmelo Anthony gonna get the overall boost up into the 90 overall squad. So their roster now is Jose Calderon, who's apparently incredible, DeMar, Melo, Porzingis, Lopez. Not a great team, but not a terrible team. And don't look now, but all of Canada is now part of the Mecca, part of the center of the universe, part of New York Knicks. Burnt orange Raptors gone, as the Knicks officially have taken over North America, the Northeast, the North. We are the North, and the Raptors officially gone. Get the hell off the wheel as the spinner gets thinner. And it's going to be the Celtics. Okay, the Celtics always have a tough situation when you're trying to figure out what direction do they want to go, because they're kind of sandwiched, right? They've got Rhode Island, I believe, and then they have Connecticut. They have New Hampshire and Vermont. They have the Knicks. They have the Nets. They're in a weird spot. I normally just give them a 1 overall boost, but we will see how they do. Press this button, go to this, and spin the wheel of fortune. And they're going, can you go east at all? I guess we can give them the state that I totally know is New Hampshire, right? We can give them New Hampshire. Why not? There you go, making a nice little cock and balls there for Boston Celtic green, and make sure we give. Who's on their team at this point? Who's going to get the overall boost? Celtics back in the day. What is this, 2015? This is Isaiah Thomas, right? Yeah, the MVP Isaiah Thomas. IT, so short. Well, he was just an incredible player given his size. I love Isaiah Thomas. I wish that he didn't break his entire hip and then try to come back from injury for the team and then basically ruin his career. And then the Celtics traded him away, and then it was basically over after that. Kind of a sad end to Isaiah Thomas's career. Pop the Celtics off, and the next team on the wheel of NBA imperialism is going to be the Miami Heat. No, it's going to be the Hornets. Okay, Charlotte, North Carolina. So they could go north. They could, or they're going to have to take on the Hawks or the Grizzlies. And I think the Hornets are bad, as always. So what direction does this team want to go? Spin the wheel. You spin the wheel. Which way do you want to? You can't go that way. And they're going northwest. Because I want to erase some of the empty spots on the map, we're going to give them that state, which is Virginia. Give them a nice overall boost. There you go, something like that, making a little North Carolina, Virginia sandwich. Airball from the future here. I did forget to give a 1 overall point to the Charlotte Hornets. It didn't matter because they didn't play anybody, but we're going to be giving it to Kemba Walker, officially now a 92 overall. He was just one heck of a player in his prime out of UConn, right? Man, he's such a happy guy. The injuries were bad. The size problem, he's always going to have 6 feet tall, just isn't going to cut it in today's NBA. Was an issue defensively, but he's just such a fun player and a joy to watch as far as basketball is concerned. The rest of their team, wow, what was that? The rest of their team is horrible. Cody Zeller, ugh. Tyler Hansbrough, ugh. Al Jefferson, ugh. Marvin Williams, ugh. Jeremy Lamb, Nicholas Batum when he was stealing money from them, so ugh. Michael Kidd Gilchrist, ugh. Spencer Hawes, ugh. Courtney Lee, ugh. Jeremy Lin. I don't know if this was before or after Linsanity, but he was never the same player after that, 1 month stretch of games. Frank Kaminsky kind of eked out a solid career for himself. Jorge Gutierrez, never heard of you, and Brian Roberts. Ugh. Pop the Hornets off the wheel as round 1 continues of the NBA imperialism. Trailblazers? Timberwolves? Minnesota Timberwolves next on the list. They're very comparable to the Boston Celtics because they're in a weird spot where there's a ton of empty space around them. They should get 1 overall boost, but then theoretically they could go directly north, take on the Canadian Knicks. They could take on the Bucks. I need to learn American geography before I do NBA imperialism. Anyway, spin the wheel. Which way? Oh, come on. Really? Really? You want to take on the Bucks? Fine. Timberwolves at Bucks. Taking a peek at this Timberwolves team, it looks like they're not having a good year, but Karl Towns is their best player, a young Karl Anthony Towns, number 1 overall pick, 85 overall. Andrew Wiggins, also a number 1 overall pick, one of those guys who just never lived up to those expectations. He's a really solid, steady player, great two-way, but other than that, you can't rely on him too much. Zach LaVine, before he got traded for Jimmy Buckets, and he's had an interesting career to say the least. Ricky Rubio, another disappointing, I think he was pick 6, right? Can't really tell there. Nikola Pekovic, one of my favorite players to watch. He was just a monstrous center. I think he was in with the KGB or something. He has these weird mob ties. Kevin Martin, remember, traded famously for James Harden. Shabazz Muhammad, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. They have an aging Kevin Garnett. I remember they re-signed him to like $10 million a year when he was 47 years old. Made no sense, but Minnesota loves them. Some Kevin Garnett. Gorgia Jang was pretty young. Nemanja Bjelica. Tyus Jones, was he on the team? Adrian Payne, Greg Smith, Damon Rudins, Tayshaun Prince. Oh my God, he was 1,000,000 years old. And Andre Miller. It's kind of a battle of mediocre here. Ricky Rubio versus Michael Carter Williams. Zach LaVine versus Chris Middleton. Andrew Wiggins versus Giannis. Karl Towns versus Jabari Parker. And Nikola Pekovic versus Miles Plumlee. Nowadays, obviously the Bucks are the overwhelming favorite. But if we go back in time, into the way back machine of NBA imperialism 2K15, I'm not really sure who the better team would be. Like, my money, I guess, would go on the Bucks. They're the home team. They have a Giannis. But he hasn't quite evolved and morphed into MVP Giannis yet. Anyway, Ricky Rubio dribbling the ball. Not a lot happening here. Man, Nikola Pekovic has that monk-looking bald spot on the back of his head. Zach LaVine dribbles and kicks it to Pekovic, who throws it down on the dunk. Plumlee. Why is that Mason Plumlee or Miles Plumlee? Why do they look like Maxi Kleber? That's weird. Michael Carter Williams kicks it to Giannis, who back in the day, I don't know if you You ever watched his rookie tape? He could actually shoot the three. Someone who couldn't shoot and somebody who never could shoot was Michael Carter-Williams. I don't know why he's jacking up threes like that. Zach LaVine pulls the ball up to the court. Ricky Rubio once again orchestrating the offense, hands it off to Karl Towns, who's taking the 4-5 screen and roll with Nikola Pekovic, and he goes up and he draws the foul on M. Plumlee. Which Plumlee is this? Miles Plumlee. That's definitely not what he looks like, but hey, the Plumlee twins are not famous enough to be mentioned anymore in this video. Going into the second quarter, and the Bucks have a good lead here. Wow. Dominating after halftime. Holy crap, look at this score. 30 points, 20 points, and that is going to be really much a curb stomping. 133-107 by the Bucks. Giannis had a great game. 28, 8, and 5. Jabari Parker, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Could you imagine if they lived up to their potentials respectively? Michael Carter-Williams, same thing. 26 and 10. Miles Plumlee was actually really good, even though he doesn't look like that. Chris Middleton only gave you 12, and OJ Mayo 12 off the bench. As for the Wolves, Andrew Wiggins was the only one who came to play, 32, 4, and 2. Karl Towns 27, 11, and then Zach LaVine gave you 12. Nikola Pekovic gave you 11. Their bench was horrible, and Kevin Garnett gave you 5 points. Ricky Rubio was pretty bad. 14 assists, but 6 turnovers and 2 of 9 shooting. That's not going to cut it. I think Karl Towns makes the most sense because Andrew Wiggins would only take Giannis' spot. And I don't know, Zach LaVine's not good enough. Neither is Nikola Pekovic. So we'll take Karl Towns. I will be moving him to the center position. Some of the comments said don't move players' positions around, but Karl Towns was a center through and through for the entirety of his career until Rudy Gobert came over. It makes no sense to have him play in the power forward position. It's not his natural position. I know he has somewhat of the skill set of a 4, but the whole point of Karl Towns is that he's an elite center who can stretch the floor and put pressure on your offense. So the team's going to look like that. Michael Carter, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Jabari, Towns, and of course, Giannis is going to get that 1 overall boost, now up to an 85 overall. Not tremendous, not remarkable. There's still a very young Bucks squad. And unfortunately, this Minnesota Blue is going to become Milwaukee Green. The Timberwolves gone. They always seem to get eliminated pretty early, or they stick around till the end, as the Milwaukee Bucks are going to get a logo boost. They just have this solid stretch of America here that they have taken over. And go to the wheel, and the Timberwolves get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. The next team that's going to be on the attack is the Orlando Magic. As we've seen in every single one of these Imperialism updates, the Magic have only one place to go. Actually, the Magic are fine. The Heat only have one place to go. So eventually get prepared for the Miami Heat Orlando Magic matchup. But they can go either south to take Miami right now. They can go north, take out Atlanta, or possibly take over this empty state that is also known as Alabama, which I totally knew and did not have to look up. Go to the browser, spin the wheel. Which way do you want to go? And I don't think you can go that way. Can you? Can you theoretically? All right, work with me on this. So let's say it's like right here, and then you look at the arrow. Does that count? I think so. We'll do Magic at the Hawks. And hopping over to Photoshop, the Atlanta Hawks take over with their burnt red. The Orlando Magic officially gone. This looks kind of ugly. What do you say we what do you say we make this nicer? Not bad. And the Atlanta Hawks are starting to take over the southern, Southeast America. That'll work. Look at Atlanta, they're growing. Orlando Magic officially gone as the spinner gets thinner. We need to get some of those Pacific Northwest teams going. Ooh, kinda. There you go. Utah Jazz gonna be next on the list. What direction can the Jazz go? I know they have Denver, Colorado to their, left, right, east, west, words. I know words. I have the best words.
I know words. I have the best words.
They have the Thunder. That's right, because the Thunder beat the Nuggets. They got Nevada. They got the Phoenix Suns down here. A couple of empty spots they can go up north as well. Let's see. Arrow of fortune, arrow of justice. Bam. Spin the wheel. Spin, 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 spin. Which way do you want to go? And that is, I think it's Nevada. I think so. Or Nevada, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Nevada or Nevada? I'm going to go with Nevada. And we'll go ahead and give somebody on the Jazz a 1 overall boost. Who would it be? Is that Gordon Hayward right now that's the best player in the Jazz? Yes, sir. 87 overall. Rudy Gobert is an 84 overall. Derek Favors an 83. Rodney Hood on the team. He came over from the Cavs and was okay. Joe Ingles was kind of young at this point. Alec Burks and Trey Burke and Trevor Booker and Dante Exum. Y'all remember when he was the next best thing? Howell Nito, Trey Lyles, D-Board Plays. I don't know who that is. Jeff Withy, I don't know who you are either. But we will give Gordon Hayward that 1 overall bump as he's now an 88 overall. Next team on the wheel to go, as it's starting to look a little bit better, is the Brooklyn Nets. Yes? All right. What way are the Nets going to go? Remember, they're kind of stuck since they are New York, since they're like 20 feet away from the New York Knicks. They're definitely stuck here. They could take over Delaware, or I want to say this is Connecticut. I'm not sure. Nope, this is New Jersey. Delaware's down here. I'm so smart at geography. I don't even know how to explain to you the size of my brain. All right, let's go to the arrow and see which way Nets are going to go. I think these might be the Brook Lopez Nets as well. Can they go that direction? I guess so. They can take the state that I totally remember off the top of my head. It's Connecticut. I said it was Connecticut. You guys are so dramatic. All right. And the Nets taking over with their kind of weird off black color that they have. Not going to be an overall size boost for them, but they will get an overall player boost as we scroll over to the Brooklyn Nets. And this is, yep, a Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez was a monster for the Nets, by the way. Go look at every single statistical record for New Jersey. Brook Lopez holds it. It's crazy. They have Thad Young, not very good. A younger Bojan Bogdanovic at the time. Jarrett Jack, I remember him. Rondé Hollis Jefferson, Wayne Ellington, Andre Bargnani, wow. Shane Larkin, Donald Sloan, Sergei Garasev, Thomas Robinson, Chris McClaw, Willie Reed, Sean Kilpatrick, Markel Brown. Not a good team. Don't expect them to do much beyond of what Brook Lopez can offer you. Pop the Nets off the wheel and let's go for another round. Coming into the closing teams of round 1 as the Phoenix Suns, the Phoenix Suns are going to be next on the list. And as you see, they're basically surrounded by every team ever. They're really going to have to make a move or go to New Mexico. That's it. So what direction are the Phoenix Suns going to go? Let's find out, mister. Let's ask the spinning the arrow of fortune. They're going to go to New Mexico. Boom, boom, boom. Orange it up a little and make sure the Phoenix Suns get a nice little logo boost here. Who's going to get the 1 overall point? Who's even on their team at this stage? The Suns. They got Eric Bledsoe. Oh boy. Eric Bledsoe gets the 1 overall boost to an 85. Oh boy. Brandon Knights, Markieff Morris. Do they have the other Morris as well? They normally have the Morris twins together. I guess not. Devin Booker, a super young, talented, but hasn't reached anywhere near his potential. Devin Booker, PJ Tucker, Mirza Teledovic, Alex Len, I remember him. TJ Warren, John Lure, Ronnie Price, Tyson Chandler, Archie Goodwin, John Jenkins, Corey Jefferson, Lorenzo Brown, Phil Presley. Yeah, this team was bad. And then they get worse. If your team gets worse by trading away Eric Bledsoe, you have a problem. Pop the Suns off the wheel and let's continue to spin. We still haven't seen the LA teams or the Kings, Blazers, and we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The first appearance of King James is officially making his way onto this NBA Imperialism Challenge. So if he goes up against the Bulls, that's going to be a tough one. The Bulls were pretty competitive back in the day. Pistons probably a blowout. Knicks might be fun. And then the Philadelphia 76ers. This was back when they were in the process. The 76ers, I don't even think they have an 80 overall at this point. So it's definitely going to be a blowout. But what direction does King James want to go back when he used to run the Eastern Conference? And he is taking on the 76ers, right? Or should we cheat a little bit and give him that state that I'm looking for, West Virginia? I kind of like that. Let's go West Virginia. There we go. West Virginia is now a part of Ohio as the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to look to get their 1 overall boost. Now it's going to Kyrie Irving because LeBron James is a 99 overall. He was simply the best player on the planet at this time. Did he win every single time he played against the Warriors? No, but he was certainly the best player on the court whenever they played. I think that's pretty undeniable at this point. Looking at the wheel, we'll pop the Cavs off and the next team to go. Still need to see the Wizards. Still need to see the Heat and the Pelicans. Okay. Looks like the Pelicans are going to be the next team on the list. Now, they do have all of Texas to take on, and that's not going to go well because the Spurs are feasting. It could take these states that are also known as Louisiana or Arkansas. Those are your two options. So not a great position for the Pelicans to be in, but remember, they have a prime Anthony Davis. So spin, spin, spin the wheel. Which way do you want to go? Oh boy. Yeah, that's the Spurs. Good luck. Taking a peek at this Pelican squad, and this was a prime Anthony Davis, 92 overall. He was just good in every facet of the game. This was when he was supposed to be maybe a top 3 player in the NBA. Drew Holiday, pretty serviceable. It hadn't quite arrived as the elite two-way point guard that we see today. Eric Gordon, just a steady, solid veteran. Ryan Anderson used to be a sniper back in the day when stretch fours were pretty rare. Tyreek Evans, rookie of the year for the Kings, and then just kind of fell off. Tony Douglas is okay. Omer Asik, I remember you. He's a big old clumsy 7-footer. Dante Cunningham, Norris Cole, not on the Heat anymore, rocking the flat top. Luke Babbitt, Alexis Ajinka. Don't know who you are. Kendrick Perkins on the Pelicans. Y'all remember the video? I think there's a meme of him trying to set a screen on the air. It was great. Alonzo Gee, Nate Robinson. Was this the Nate Robinson? And Tim Frazier. All in all, I see no way that the Pelicans win this unless Anthony Davis goes off for one of those rare 50 points and like 20 rebound games that he's capable of putting up. It's just not going to happen. Drew Holiday versus Tony Parker, that's a good matchup. But then Eric Gordon versus James Harden, oof. Tyreek Evans versus Kawhi Leonard, oof. Anthony Davis versus LaMarcus Aldridge, that's where you have your benefit. But then Omer Asik versus Tim Duncan, that's not going to happen, man. Omer Asik is going to get slaughtered, even if Tim Duncan is 57 years old. Here we are at the tip-off. Spurs versus Hornets. And I put on the yellow jerseys. I kind of miss the Charlotte Hornets, New Orleans Hornets jerseys, whatever you want to call them. And James Harden immediately calls for the ball from Tony Parker, goes right around and pulls up, and he missed. Okay, there's a chance. Eric Gordon, not going to have any chance whatsoever defensively, trying to stick with the James Harden in his prime back when he was drawing fouls like it was nothing. Eric Gordon kicks it, and Anthony Davis dunks it. And all the smack that I'm talking, the New Orleans Pelicans, the New Orleans Hornets, whatever you want to call them these days, have a quick lead here. And James Harden ice-wing, really awful possession here. Doesn't get his own rebound. Eric Gordon is coming up the other way. Anthony Davis on Tony Parker, mismatch, going to the post, and goes right up and over him. And don't look now, but the Pelicans have a 4-0 lead on the road. Hopping into Simcast in the first quarter, and the Pelicans are winning, but now the Spurs have started to exert their dominance. They take the lead right back and forth game here into the third quarter, and that's going to be a blowout. First quarter, fun. The next 3 quarters, not so much if you're rooting for the New Orleans Pelicans as they fall 137 to 110. Wasn't even close. James Harden, just a beast, 29, 8, and 7. Kawhi, 26, 10, 3, 2, 1, 3. Danny Green gave you 20 points in 22 minutes. LaMarcus Aldridge was serviceable, 16 and 9. Timmy D was good. Dirk, y'all forget Dirk is even on this team. As for the Pelicans, Anthony Davis just didn't have that type of day because he had the help. Everybody else came along, but he only gave you 24 and 9. That's just not good enough when you want to take down the Spurs. Drew Holiday was actually really good, 24 and 6. Eric Gordon, also good, 25 and 8. But that's it. Tyreek Evans gave you 12 and 10, and then everybody else was basically a no-show for the Pelicans. And this Spurs squad is just getting meaner. Not only is Kawhi Leonard now a 98, almost 99 overall, matching LeBron James. Now they have Anthony Davis and James Harden. So you look at their rotation now. You got Tony Parker, that'll work. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Tim Duncan, and then off the bench is LaMarcus Aldridge and Dirk Nowitzki and Danny Green and Manu Ginobili. This team, it's not even fair. Gotta be honest, I got the Spurs winning everything as the Pelicans are gone. Spurs have taken over America and taken over my heart because they are going to be the new champions. I'm predicting it here. You heard it here first, folks. And go over to the wheel. Make sure that who do they beat? The Pelicans. Get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. Looks like we have maybe 10 teams left here in round 1 as the Los Angeles Lakers are going to get their first go. Obviously, the Lakers, they have to deal with the Clippers. That's just one of those undeniable things that you have to deal with when you're sharing an arena and sharing a city. Thankfully, the Clippers were... Let's see, this was the Blake Griffin days maybe, right? And the Lakers are honestly really bad. They got the Kings, they got the Jazz, they got the Suns, they got the Warriors. Going to be pretty tough position for the Lakers to really dig themselves out of. So we spin the wheel and they're taking on, that looks like the Clippers, man. Yeah, let's do Lakers at Clippers. And I think the Clippers might have an edge here. I don't think we picked up these teams yet, but looking at the Lakers, this is when they were really bad. So you have Lou Williams, Sweet Lou, before he retired, before he went on. I think he played pretty solid for, might have been the Clippers, might have been the Rockets after this stint in his career, but he's starting to get up there in age, and he's always been an undersized scorer. Kobe, Bean, Bryant, and whoever made this roster loved him because he was like a 92 overall. I had to significantly drop his overall. He was statistically in advanced analytics one of the worst players in the NBA, but we love Kobe because he's just got that Mamba mentality. Jordan Clarkson wasn't great as a Laker, kind of turned it around once he got to the Utah Jazz and to a lesser extent the Cavs. Larry Nance Jr. has been a journeyman. He's gone to so many different teams and played fairly valiantly. His issues that he's 6'7". D'Angelo Russell, his first stint on the Lakers when he was texting people about who was getting cheated on who. Roy Hibbert was horrible. I think LeBron just broke this poor man because he was supposed to be a monster for Indiana and then kind of sucked. Julius Randle before he went on to the Pelicans and then really turned his career around in New York. Nick Young, who cheated on Iggy Azalea or whatever the fuck. I don't care. His best moment is that 3-point shot where he shoots, turns around, is like, yeah, I made this, and then he misses. Brandon Bass. Yo, I remember him. Sebastian Telfair, Ryan Kelly, Meta World Peace. Was he really still in the league? Marcelo Huertas. What a forgotten NBA player. This guy should show up on some of those quizzes and be like, can you name this obscure player? Tariq Black also. Looking at the Los Angeles Clippers, and this was when they were supposed to be competitive, winning championships, and they always came up a little bit short. That's why we call him CP0. He either got hurt, or I think it was against the Rockets. James Harden went down with injury, and then they still lost after being up like 2-1 or something. It was crazy how bad the Clippers were in the playoffs. Thanks, Doc Rivers. Blake Griffin never lived up to his potential expectations. He was a good player. He was an all-star, but he just never developed any sort of offensive skill set. He could just jump and throw it down. DeAndre Jordan, similar, just more of a center than a power forward. JJ Redick, sharpshooter, but that's really about it. Jamal Crawford, he was filthy, man, but he never was that superstar, you know, all-star player. He was just a reliable bucket off the bench, and that was really it. Cole Aldrich, I don't even know who you are. Austin Rivers coming in because his dad loves him. Look at that eye. It's drifting. Austin, look over here. Jeff Green, he's been on every single team in the NBA. Luke Mbah-a-Moute, just fun to say his name. Paul Pierce, oh, I remember the old Paul Pierce who went to like 3 different teams when he was like 90 years old. Pablo Prigioni, oh my God, these names. Josh Smith, oh, Jay Smoove back when he was not good. Wesley Johnson, I think he's the one who got dropped by James Harden. Jeff Aries as well. And you look at the rotations, you got D'Lo versus Cliff Paul. That should be a beatdown. Jordan Clarkson versus JJ Redick. Different skill sets, same, I guess, level of talent, if that makes sense. Pour everything into a bucket. They're going to come to the same level. Kobe Bryant versus Jeff Green. Larry Nance Jr. versus Blake Griffin. And DeAndre Jordan versus Roy Hibbert. The Clippers should certainly win this game. Will they? You never know because the Clippers always seem to disappoint in real life. Maybe they'll disappoint in NBA imperialism as this lady sings the Star Spangled Anthem yet again. Star Spangled Banner, national anthem. Is that what I was supposed to be saying? Am I a freaking idiot? Here we go. Los Angeles, home court advantage doesn't really matter, but I guess technically it does in the game as Cliff Paul kicks it to JJ Redick to facilitate the play. That's a new one, Doc. I haven't seen that before. DeAndre Jordan peeling out for an open 3. I don't think this is a good play. You got JJ Redick creating and DeAndre Jordan on the 3-point line. That's not efficient offense. Anyway, the Lakers without any 84 overalls. Their highest is like an 82 D'Lo. Kobe Bryant, old, missing. Unfortunately, he was just super inefficient at this point. His volume was still the same as when he was in his prime, but his efficiency completely gone, and it was never that high to begin with. Finally, Cliff Paul has the ball, and he's continuing to pass it up so that Jeff Green can run the offense. What is this? What are these plays? All right, go to Blake in the post. This will work. Step back, jumper, and it actually does as the first points go to Blake Griffin and the Clippers. We're going to hop into some guys because these two teams suck. Clippers weren't terrible, but they always disappointed. And going into halftime, they are up a little bit. It's really closer than it should be if you look purely at the overalls department. And now the Clippers are starting to pull away I think this is one of the few times ever that the Lakers are going to get spanked in NBA Imperialism round 1. They lose by 30 points. Woo! Kobe Bryant was an efficient 23 and 5 on 13 shots. Not terrible. Roy Hibbert was even decent. 15 and 14, 3 blocks. But then, you know, Lou Will gave him 14. Nick Young gave you 14. D'Lo 11 and 6. Larry Nance. Statistically, it's not bad, but their defense was atrocious. Looking at the Clippers, Blake Griffin 31 and 12. Monstrous performance from him. DeAndre Jordan gave you 30 points. 14 of 15 from the field. Cliff Paul was really just a good floor general, 16 and 12. Jeff Green gave you 14. Luke Mbamute 14. And Austin Rivers gave you 11. This is going to be one of those instances where even though he's not the higher overall, I'm just bringing him over because Kobe Bean Bryant is just an unforgettable player. Rest in peace. He wasn't the best player in the NBA. We have this weird rose-colored glasses history when we look back at him because I guess he died tragically. So everybody's like, oh, he's better than he actually is. He's like a top 15 player in the NBA, not top 10, definitely not top 5, but people get their top 5 skewed these days. They're like, oh, this guy is top 5. And then they're like, well, my top 5 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Larry Bird and Patrick Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon. And you're like, dude, slow down. Slow down. Where's Magic Johnson? Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But we're going to give Cliff Paul the 1 overall boost. Make sure he is a 95. And they got an interesting squad going here. Cliff Paul, JJ Redick, and old Kobe Bryant, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. I don't hate it. I don't love it. There certainly is some star power here that could project them to being competitors in NBA Imperialism. And you won't see this every day, but the LA Clippers are going to be coming out of the basement here in NBA Imperialism as the Lakers are eliminated off the map. Kind of a rare sighting for those who watch these Imperialism videos because it's always that the Lakers completely spank those poor Clippers. And this time, the roles have been reversed. So where are the Clippers? Bump the Clippers. And of course, the Lakers get the hell off the spinner as the spinner gets thinner. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams left in round 1. Looks like the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be next on the list. Look at the map. Where do they pull up? Boop, 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 boop. They got a whole bunch of empty states that I'm not going to pretend that I actually know the name of. They got the Hornets to the east. They have nobody other than that. Maybe the Hawks to the southeast. But other than that, this is going to be most likely a free overall point for who's ever on the Grizzlies at this point. It's not Marc Gasol, right? He should be. It might be Mark at like 90 years old. And then they don't have John Morant. Do they have Rudy Gay, maybe? All right, I'm done theorizing. We can just look at it. We'll go ahead and give them Alabama. That seems to make the most sense here. Making a little T shape here. I don't know how to make that funny. It literally is just a T shape. And the Grizzlies roster, we'll do a quick peek. Yeah, Marc Gasol, super old. Mike Conley, 85 overall, and so is Zach Randolph. They actually have a decent squad here. Not gonna make too much of a threat. There's no like 90 overalls. Also, this is not what Marc Gasol looks like. You got a Lance Stevenson who does not play good anywhere not named Indiana. Matt Barnes, yo, Vince Carter, JaMychal Green. Oh, these players. Beno Udrih, Mario Chalmers, Jordan Farmar is still in the league. Fennis, Brandon Wright, Chris Anderson. They had Birdman Anderson after the Heat days. Okay, and an old Tony Allen. We'll give the 1 overall boost to Marc Gasol. Boom, 87 overall for him. Pop the Grizzlies off the wheel because this is round 1 and the spinner continues. Looking at the Blazers. That's right on the line, but it looks like the Portland Trailblazers are gonna be next. And we look at the Blazers. They always seem to run into the California teams and fail miserably. I think every single time we do this, they go north, take Washington, and then die. Let's see where the arrow of fortune, the arrow of just, you can't go that way. You just can't go that way. That's the one direction you can't go is west. They want to go south. Okay. All right. So if I'm looking at the map, is that Utah or is it Golden State? I think that's Utah, man. I think Blazers at Utah. The Blazers might be sneaky good here. They have a prime Damian Lillard. I know you still have a prime Damian Lillard now, and they seem to lose every single game. I'm just saying, Dame, 93 overall, CJ, 87, and then there's a bit of a fall off, Mason Plumlee, Ed Davis, Al-Farouq Aminu, just a kind of reliable, not very good 3-and-D player for them. Myers Leonard, don't talk about him. Mo Harkless, Noah Vonleh. I mean, this is really bad. Alan Crabb, Pat Connaughton, was he really on the team? Gerald Henderson, Chris Kaman, Cliff Alexander, Dante Strickland. This is a really bad Blazers team. But you got Dame, you always got a chance. Damian Lillard is going to roast Trey Burke. CJ McCollum versus Rodney Hood is going to be fun. Alfred Camino versus Gordon Hayward. Myers Leonard versus Derek Favors, and Mason Plumlee versus Rudith Gobert. The two best guards are on the Blazers. Now, how is the rest of the team going to respond? Because the depth is not there for really either team, but more so the Blazers, as Rudy Gobert does, in fact, win the tip. And Trey Burke, the GOAT Burke, bringing the ball up the court for your Utah Jazz. Not an ideal starting point guard, to say the least. I think until they made that Mike Conley trade, they've been really without a point guard since the John Stockton days. Trey just pulls up for three and misses. What are you doing? What are you doing? And going into CJ McCollum, just isoing up and dribbling and making it. Okay, CJ. Put on his big boy pants and just said, nobody's going to stop me. I'm driving into the paint and I'm making it. And Trey Burke bringing the ball up the other way. Screen set by Rudy Gobert. And foul. Okay. Hopping into Simcast, and the Blazers have a lead here in the first quarter. Going into the second, still have a lead at halftime. It's kind of closer than you would like. About a 7-point game here into the third quarter. Still close-ish. We may actually be watching a Blazers Jazz closing minutes here. It's only a 6-point game, 4-point game. Yeah, this is something we have to actually watch. Now they're starting to extend their lead a little bit. Let's see who scores. And 9-point game. I don't think we need to hop in. 7-point game. Yeah, the Jazz could not make a bucket here in the fourth quarter when they needed it most, and they come up short. Gordon Hayward was fine. You know, Gordon Hayward numbers 23, 8, and 5. And then Trey Burke, 13 and 8. Derek Favors, 13 and 6. Rodney Hood. They just don't have enough star power, and their best player is Rudy Gobert, who gave you 5 points. 16 rebounds is nice, but 5 points is not. CJ was good, 28 for him. Dame had a quiet 19 points on 14 shots. Myers Leonard hates juice. 12 and 10. Mason Plumlee, 12 and 11. Not bad numbers for the Blazers. Gordon Hayward going to be going over from the Jazz, 88 overall with that overall boost he got from Nevada. And Damian Lillard bumping up to now a 93 overall on the roster. You know, the Blazers starting to dig out a good section of land here. That's a really ugly red, and it matches the Clippers red way too much. What do we do about this? What do we do? What do we do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill it with black. It's not as aesthetically pleasing, but the Clippers have that red and the Blazers have red and black. And like I can fill it with gray maybe, but that's not fun either. So we're going to do black for the Blazers background, but the Jazz gone off the map as the Blazers have this carved out section of middle Western America. Kings still need to go. So do the Warriors, and they're probably going to be the biggest team to deal with outside of the Clippers here. The Suns probably going to get spanked the second they play. Anyway, let's go to the wheel. Only 6 teams left to go before we enter round 2 of NBA Imperialism, and the Washington Wizards are next on the list. Wizards are stuck in Maryland, right? They don't have really a good spot. They got to take on the Hornets, who they seem to always lose to. They got to take on the 76ers, who they should be better than. These are the Bradley Beal, John Wall Wizards, who were kind of good, all things being equal. It will spin the arrow, see what direction do the Wizards want to go, and they want to go northeast. I think, theoretically, that could be Philadelphia, or it could be Delaware. And I'm going to do Delaware. All right, follow me on this, okay? I'm going to say Washington is right here, because we got to get some of these empty states off the map. So Washington is right here. They're going to take over Delaware. They'll get a tiny little size boost, but that's it. We got to get some of these empty states taken care of, all right? That's just the way of NBA imperialism. There's a lot of busy work that we need to complete, and looking at the Wizards roster, they're already pretty good. I don't think taking on the Sixers will give them anything that's like more than a 79 overall. So you got John Wall, 91 overall, actually going to be a 92. Hello, text. Boom. Bradley Beal, 88 overall. Martin Gortat, he was pretty good back in his day. 82 overall. And then you have some of the lesser, Otto Porter Jr., Nene, also known as Nene. Kelly Oubre Jr. was super young at this point. Ramon Sessions, what a player. Gary Neal. I remember he was supposed to be the second coming of Patty Mills, and it was a little bit less. DeJuan Blair, Ryan Hollins, also known as Ryan Hollins, now on ESPN. Garrett Temple, who's actually still in the league. Jared Dudley, Allen Anderson, Drew Gooden. Whatever happened, he just didn't really develop much. He was kind of in that tier with Taj Gibson and Carlos Boozer, and he never put up the same impact as those guys did. And that is the end of the Wizards. We'll pop the Wizards off. They're still sticking around, and we have 5 teams left in round 1. Spinning the wheel. Who's next is the 76ers, and we've seen their roster before. It's horrible. We've seen them on the map before. It's horrible. They're going to have to play somebody, and they're going to lose. If you're a 76ers fan, close your eyes, girl, because this is not going to look good for you. Spin the wheel of fortune. What direction is the map going to go? It's going directly west. I mean, you're playing the Cavs, dude. Like, no shot. I mean, I guess we can look at this 76er squad. They got Nerlens Noel as their highest rated player. Jahlil Okafor, Robert Covington, he's serviceable. Ish Smith, Jeremy Grant before he went to, I think, the Thunder and then the Nuggets and then broke out. Isaiah Cannon, Carl Landry, Tony Roten, Nick Stauskas, TJ McConnell. That'll work. Christian Wood, he was really bad here. And then Detroit, he started to show his colors. And then Houston took a chance and he really balled out. Rashawn Holmes, Elton Brand, super old before he became the GM. And Joel Embiid, like I said at the beginning of this Imperialism challenge. Technically, he was drafted, but he didn't play until the next season. So I basically dropped his overalls to nothing. And this is going to be a beatdown. Kyrie Irving versus Ish Smith, Isaiah Cannon versus J.R. Smith. LeBron James versus Robert Covington, Nerlens Noel versus Kevin Love, and Tristan Thompson versus Jahlil Okafor. I think that Tristan Thompson, Jahlil Okafor is the closest of these matchups that you'll have to competitive. Otherwise, clearly the Cavaliers, one of the best teams in the NBA. This was before they blew up the team and traded away Kyrie Irving for Isaiah Thomas, who turned to be like Derrick Rose, I think. That whole Kyrie Irving, basically everywhere Kyrie Irving goes, he just leaves devastation in his way. But here he is finishing with the expert handle, already a 2-0 lead. Sixers don't even get a chance to have their first lead of the game. Ish Smith bringing the ball up the other way. You know, I don't even know who's going to generate offense for them. Jahlil Okafor out of the post. Maybe Isaiah Cannon, Kanan. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but here's a long 2, and he missed. Wow, what were the odds of that? LeBron James bringing the ball up the other way. He's a barreling, menacing force being picked up by Robert Covington. That's not too bad of a matchup if you have to guard LeBron with somebody, you know. Take a big-bodied, strong Robert Covington. I don't hate it. Sag off on the 3 a little bit. Kyrie Irving for 3, splash, and it's already 5-0. Here in the first quarter, it is a 10-point game. Going to the second quarter, it is a 20-30-point game. Here in the third quarter, it is a 40-point game, and this is the biggest beatdown I've ever seen since Fred VanVleet beat down on those poor NBA refs, 136-87. You look at this, Kyrie dropped 40, LeBron 39 and 14. Even Matthew Dellavedova gave you 18. Kevin Love gave you 16, 4 and 7. Tristan Thompson gave you a 13 and 10. I'm not sure if we looked at the Cavs already, but you know, this is their team. Y'all know who they are. J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Timofey Mozgov gave him valuable minutes. Richard Jefferson even, Channing Frye, Mo Williams. I didn't know Joe Harris was here. Was Joe Harris ever on the Cavs? I don't think so. And Anderson Varejao. Boy, did injuries spoil his career. For the 76ers, it was just all bad. So I'm looking at this Cavaliers roster. I'm not even sure who to pick up here. Maybe Robert Covington for some backup, you know, wing depth, because Nerlens Noel, I don't need a backup power forward. Jahlil Okafor, don't need a backup center. So I guess Robert Covington or maybe Jeremy Grant is going to be the person who's going over to the Cavaliers in NBA Imperialism. That is just how bad the process was, at least in the overalls department. So Robert Covington officially now is the 8th man on the roster. Oh boy. And we'll just do this quickly. Cavaliers win. 76ers fans, you can open your eyes because you have been officially eliminated from NBA Imperialism, and the Cavaliers are growing up a little bit. Take a quick peek at the map, how we're doing right now. The Blazers got a big stretch of land after that win over the Jazz. Warriors and Kings still have yet to play. Lakers eliminated. Suns, Spurs. You're starting to see, you know, a few of these empires grow and blossom. Picking up the browser, the 76ers gone as the spinner gets thinner. And we got 4 teams left. Like I mentioned, Kings, Warriors, Pistons, and Heat. Heat obviously going to have to go on against the Magic. There's not even a point to spinning the wheel. You look at them. Oh, I didn't even mean the Magic. They got to take on the Hawks now. Heat at Hawks. Taking a quick peek at the Heat squad. And you remember the post-LeBron leaving Heat were really just an awful team at this point. Hassan Whiteside had like 2 good years and then just stopped giving a shit about basketball after he finally got paid. Dwayne Wade was too old to make an impact. Chris Bosh had I want to say it was a heart condition where it effectively ended his career. Kind of a sad ending for him. Goran Dragic was, I guess, a bright point. He still was on the team when they made that finals run in the bubble. Luol Deng, Nah, Udonis Haslem, I don't even know how old he is at this point, but he's still on the team. Justice Winslow, nah. Gerald Green, nah. Tyler Johnson got paid for some reason. Josh Richardson is on the team. He's, serviceable, solid. I didn't know Amari Stoudemire was on the Heat for a season, but man, he was bad after injuries too in New York. ISO Joe somehow made his way to the team. Josh McRoberts, I remember him. He wasn't very good, neither was Dorell Wright. We've kind of seen the Hawks a lot in this video, but you got Goran Dragic versus Jeff Teague, battle of decently talented point guards. Dwayne Wade versus Victor Oladipo, battle of undersized shooting guards. Luol Deng versus Thabo Sefolosha, battle of 3 and D kind of wing players. Chris Bosh versus Paul Millsap, Hassan Whiteside versus Al Horford. A lot closer of a matchup than you'd expect. I think the Hawks are going to win just because they've been steadily, quietly progressing, but you never know with these teams. And here we have the tip-off. Big Al Horford playing the 5 versus Hassan Whiteside when he was kind of good. And the tip goes to the Atlanta Hawks. Jeff Teague with his crazy moves that he makes, taking step back 30-foot threes in this game. Dribbling the ball up the court, hands it to Victor Oladipo, fresh off the Magic squad, and Jeff Teague open in the corner for 3. Missed. Dragic bringing the ball up the other way. I put pink socks on the Heat. I don't know why. It looks really dumb now. Hindsight 2020, but hey, I'm not a smart man. Goran Dragic pulls up for a long 2, and he splashes. How are the Hawks going to respond? They have home court, and this crowd and this arena is dead quiet right now. Jeff Teague dribbling the ball, going ISO, going fading, going missing. Jeff Teague, man, he's like Russell Westbrooking over here, just saying, I'm going to do everything. But the Hawks jump out to a huge lead here in the first quarter, going into halftime with the lead, going into the third quarter with a continued lead, and this game isn't even going to be close. The Heat get spanked, 128-95. Wow, Paul Millsap dropped a 27-8 game. Jeff Teague had 21 points in 17 shots. Victor Oladipo, 19, 6, and 10. Not a bad stat line from him. Big Al Horford, 18 and 14, and Kyle Korver, 16. Thabo Sefolosha, 12 and 7. For the Heat, Justice Winslow was their highest score, and that's going to tell you how bad they did. Luol Deng gave you 16 and 8. Chris Bosh gave you 15 and 10. Amari gave you 13 and 1. Okay. And Hassan Whiteside gave you a 12 and 12 stat line. So I know y'all told me not to change positions, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense who we bring over on the team. So you have Dwayne Wade, but we already brought over Victor Oladipo from the Magic. You got Hassan Whiteside, but you have Al Horford here. So what I'm going to do is bring in Hassan Whiteside, the highest overall player from the Miami Heat. And then I'm going to drop, Al Horford to his power forward position. I think Al played the power forward more often than he did center. I don't remember the Hawks back in the 2015 era because they weren't that good, but I think this roster makes a little bit more sense. So you got Victor Oladipo, Jeff Teague, Thabo Sefolosha. Definitely need to upgrade that. But then you have Al Horford and Hassan Whiteside now rounding out the starting lineup. And we'll give Big Al that 1 overall boost. So he's now an 87 overall. The dude has been steadily climbing. Now we got to go over to the map and say, thank you, Miami, for having beautiful beaches, but you need to go. And Atlanta has firmly taken over Florida. They're kind of growing here. They're doing pretty good, all things being equal. Atlanta has a pretty storied franchise. There's only a few seasons where they're really trash. They're kind of always in that mid to pretty good tier. Never spectacular, but they've always been a very serviceable team for the NBA. And the Heat gone. There's only 3 teams left of round 1. Warriors, Kings, and Pistons. And it looks like the Sacramento Kings. I think this was the Boogie Cousins days, so I don't expect too much from them. You look into the map, and it's not going to be a pretty sight for them. They're going to have to take on the Blazers, who they'll lose to. They'll have to take on the Warriors, who they'll really lose to. Or they'll have to take on the Clippers, who they're going to lose to. Because this was before the Kings traded away for Domantas Sabonis and other. Spin the arrow, we spin the arrow. Which way do you want to go? And that is Golden State. Oh boy, Kings at the Warriors. Good luck. The Warriors have Stephanie Curry in his his unanimous MVP seasons, 97 overall, just a monster of a player. Klay Thompson at the peak of his powers. Probably the best two-way player with respect to the scoring potential he had and his defensive lockdown ability. He was a special defender before all the injuries. Draymond Green was just he did everything for this team. He was the heart and soul, the passer. He could even shoot the 3 to some extent back in the day. Andre Iguodala before he turned into a 40-year-old man. Harrison Barnes before they dumped him for Kevin Durant. Andrew Bogut was pretty good for them. So was Sean Livingston off the bench. Leandro Barbosa was huge for them in the playoffs. Mo Spates, Mo Buckets. I love Mo Spates' game. He was just one of those fun 6'10", 6'11" shooters. Festus Ezeli gave him good effort. James Michael McAdoo, wow, I remember him giving him good effort as well. Kevon Looney was super young, hadn't cracked the rotation. Ian Clark was pretty bad. So was Brandon Rush and Jason Thompson. Wasn't he like a top 10 pick? I mean, there's something to Jason Thompson. I know he was on the Kings. As for the aforementioned Kings, they got Boogie Cousins, 93 overall. Don't know why he's not playing the center position for them, but hey, I didn't make this roster. Rudith Gay, 86 overall. He was pretty good. Rajon Rondo came in, wrecked the franchise, and left as he does everywhere that's not the Celtics, and I don't remember anywhere else that he played that he was particularly good. Darren Collison was actually a pretty good point guard in his day, just one of those solid players that you'd want to have on your team. You wouldn't pay him more than the veterans minimum, but he would come in and give you quality minutes. Willie Cauley-Stein, just not very good. I think it was a top 10 pick, right? Yeah, pick 6, never really gave you much. Marco Bellinelli, the only time I ever had any respect for him was when he was a sharpshooter for the Spurs. It seemed like everywhere else he went, his shot would not fall and his defense wasn't great, but on the Spurs, he was spectacular. Ben McLemore was still in the league when I last remembered. Quincy Acey, talk about players that we've forgotten. Costa Kufos, oh my gosh. Omri Caspi, all these players were so bad. I don't know who this is. Duje Duka, never heard of you. Malcolm Lee. Seth Curry, before he got his respect on the Kings. Caron Butler, there's a name you're not going to hear for a while. And this is what we call in the business a blow up. But we got Steph Curry versus Rajon Rondo, Marco Bellinelli versus Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala versus Rudy Gay. That's actually a pretty solid matchup. Boogie Cousins versus Draymond Green will be fun. And then Willie Cauley-Stein versus Andrew Bogut. Really, it's just Klay Thompson and Steph Curry that's going to propel this team to possibly winning all of NBA imperialism. But you never know. That's the way the cookie crumbles. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Other sort of words and phrases that people say. Why are we still watching this? Here we are in Golden State, and if you've seen Golden State's new black and white arena, it's disgusting. I don't know why they keep making those decisions, but Golden State Warriors win the tip, rocking the orange uniforms, and Draymond Green is running the offense with Boogie Cousins D'ing him up. Here's Klay coming off the screen, doesn't have an open shot yet. Didn't really get a screen from Bogut here, and I don't know what this is, but Bogut's going to put up a shot. Nope, Klay's going to have the ball, trying to run some offense here. Nothing doing, nothing clicking, and fade away for Klay. It doesn't matter. 2 points the easy way. Rhyming accidentally. Marco Bellinelli bringing the ball up the court. This is just a really sad point of the franchise for the Sacramento Kings, and honestly, until, I guess, this season, it's been sad for the Sacramento Kings. Rajon Rondo has the ball. Boogie Cousins, just feed him, let him get 50 points, and hope that you can steal Steph Curry at the end of this. This is the only way that you're going to win, but Rudy Gay's jacking up for 3. That's not how you're going to win. Rudy Gay's never been a spectacular three-point shooter. Turned it around a little bit in San Antonio, but other than that, And here is the Golden State Warriors running some offense here. Klay Thompson coming off another screen, and nothing's happening. Wow, somehow they got that pass off, and Boogie Cousins snatches it out of the air, says, that's my ball. Steph Curry trying to D up Boogie Cousins. I would attack that mismatch all day and all night. Let's see if they go to it here in the post. Boogie Cousins gets the ball. Steph Curry on him, not bringing the double, and Boogie just comes, and he misses. He blows the layup. Boogie. I know Draymond Green came around for the late rotate, but that was embarrassing. Okay, what kind of play is this? It's a Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala play. Really good in my book. Here's Steph Curry, finally has the ball. Kicks it to Bogut, who has a mismatch. Rajon Rondo, barely 6 feet tall, and he gets whooped. Already 4-0 for the champion Golden State Warriors, and it looks like this is going to be a blowout. I wouldn't even bother looking at this game. Honestly, it's a little closer than I thought. About 11, 10 points here. If the Kings can make a run in the third quarter, there might be a chance, but it looks like not going to happen. And now it's up to a 20-point lead as the Warriors roll in the Battle of California. A little closer than I expected. 122 to 113. Kings played valiantly, man. Darren Collinson, I don't know why I keep saying Collinson. It's Collison. 23 points. Rudy Gay gave you 22 and 8. Boogie 22, 10 and 6. Marco Bellinelli 13. Ben McLemore. Just not enough star talent on this team. Looking at Steph Curry, he didn't have a great game, and for whatever reason, 2K Simulation hates Steph Curry. 20 points, 7 assists for him. Only 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Andre Iguodala gave you 16, 6 and 8. Bogut gave you 19 and 9. Draymond Green 14, 14 and 9. Mo Spates, Mo buckets. 12 and 9. Klay only gave you 10, so did Harrison Barnes. Kind of a weird game. Boogie Cousins is going to be coming over. Now, because they have him slotted as a power forward for some reason, I'm going to bump him up to the center. He's a center through and through. I know he's only listed at... Is he really only listed 6'10 on this roster, too? He's a solid 6'11", 7 foot. Steph Curry can get the boost as well, up to a 98 overall. I know I shouldn't change the positions, but it makes too much sense to have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, and Boogie Cousins, who was a Warrior at one point in his career as well, up to a 94 overall. Peak prime Boogie Cousins was something special, something monstrous, something mean. His defense wasn't great, but his offense was unique. And we'll go over to the map and say thank you, Sacramento, for giving the Warriors more firepower. We really appreciate it, because all I want to see is Cavs Warriors at the end of this. Let's be honest here. Fill the colors, bam. And the Golden State Warriors need some background. There you go. You can see the Warriors logo a little bit better here. The West Coast has been down and isolated. Nope. Has been upgraded. Nope. Has been decimated to only 3 teams left: Portland, Golden State, and the Los Angeles Clippers. And we knocked out 2 birds with 1 stone here. Kings are officially gone, and the Detroit Pistons are the last team on this list. Pistons, another one of those teams that's just trapped. You got the Knicks to the north and the east of them. You got the Cavs to the southeast. You got the Bulls to the southwest. You got the Bucks to the left of them. There's just nowhere for the Pistons to go if they want to get a free overall point. So they're going to have to go through somebody and possibly win, possibly upset. The Pistons were not great at this point. I think these are the Andre Drummond days, and it looks like they are going to be attacking the Chicago Bulls. That's an idea. Yeah. Taking a quick peek at the Pistons roster, they got Andre Drummond, 84 overall. I mean, Reggie Jackson, 82 overall. This was probably one of his less impressive stints. He was pretty good on the Thunder, came to the Pistons, I believe, and wasn't good, and then went to the Clippers and was really solid for them, but not a great defender, so they shipped him out. Now he's in Denver, not doing much. Marcus Morris Sr., the other of the Morris twins, always been a serviceable big body. He went over to the Clippers as well. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has made a pretty good career out of his own. Aaron Baines, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Stanley Johnson, currently on the... I think he got cut from the Lakers, went to the Spurs, got cut there, so he's probably a free agent. Spencer Dinwiddie, I did not know he was a Piston. Reggie Bullock as well. They got a whole bunch of vets, but nobody who's really, good. Anthony Tolliver, there's a name you haven't heard in a while. Neither is Jody Meeks, Steve Blake, Laker legend, and Joel Anthony. Wow, Justin Harper, Darian Hillard, I don't know who they are. And this is what we call in the business a professional beatdown. Reggie Jackson versus Derrick Rose is okay, and then you got Jimmy Buckets versus KCP. Ugh. Stanley Johnson versus Paul George. Ugh. Taj Gibson versus Marcus Morris Sr. is okay, and then Andre Drummond versus Pau Gasol. But all in all, this Bulls squad, I mean, they're playoff at the very minimum, possibly Eastern Conference final contenders every single season, as long as Derrick Rose could have returned to that, MVP form, and he just never could. Sad. One of probably the saddest stories in the history of the NBA is Derrick Rose not being able to play at his potential, because he had that one season we saw the flashes of greatness and we all said, damn, can D-Rose be something? Anyway, Paul George misses the first long 2-step back shot. Reggie Jackson brings the ball up the other way, and I don't know if they have any really playmakers on this team that can score. KCP to Stanley Johnson, who can't shoot the 3. The Marcus Morris Sr., baby. And here's Stanley kicking it to an open KCP. That's a 3. He missed. That one hurts. Jimmy Butler bringing the ball up the other way. Probably going to draw a foul on somebody here. Step back. Nope. Kicks it to D Rose, who's only an 80, I think an 83 overall. Trying to ISO up, trying to go around, taking a jumper, pump faking. Nobody's open. Paul George pulls up, and he misses. Looks like Andre Drummond just throws the ball out of bounds, taps it to nobody, and it's Bulls ball. Taj Gibson on the inbound. And who's going to get this ball? I see Paul George open. He didn't get the pass. I see Paul George open again. Is he going to pull it up? Is he going to shoot? He's going to do something silly, spicy, and he just dunks all over Stanley Johnson. Put that man in a poster. And we're going to hop into Simcast because nobody wants to watch the Pistons lose here in the first quarter. Actually, a close game going into the second quarter. Back and forth game. The Bulls cannot score. Maybe it's not the players, but it's the offensive system. That's why they got Fred Hoiberg, right? Anyway, it's actually a close game here in the fourth quarter, back and forth. Did not expect that, but here we are, about 3 minutes left, and it's a 7-point lead for those Pistons. What is happening? What is happening? The Pistons, look at this fourth quarter. The Pistons drop a 47-point fourth quarter to upset the Bulls. Oh my God, do you believe in miracles? Paul George gave you an inefficient 21 points. Jimmy Buckets gave you 19 and 13. Derrick Rose, 18. I did not expect this, but nobody on their bench came to play. Reggie Jackson gave you 25, 5, and 9 on high efficiency. Andre Drummond gave you a 22 and 7. Stanley Johnson gave you 17, 9, and 6. What actually happened? How did this? Wow. The Bulls shot 26% from 3. That's how it happened. I was already picking out Bulls rotations. I'm like, all right, we'll bring in Andre Drummond to replace Pau Gasol. And then you'll have D Rose, Jimmy Butler, Andre Drummond, Paul George. But man, talk about an upset. And the Pistons now are going to get their pick of the litter of the best player on the Bulls. I think that's going to be Paul George again. He's in the 90s, and a guy like Jimmy Butler is only an 88, 89. I'd rather have a guy who's higher overall by 3 points, even though he's not originally on the Bulls squad. That means Paul George going over 92 overall, now the highest rated player on the Pistons, and Andre Drummond getting the overall boost up to an 85. What does that mean for him? Not really anything. He's just a better rebounder, I guess, but they're looking like Reggie Jackson, KCP, and now Paul George, the leader of the Detroit Pistons basketball squad. What an upset. And what a way to finish off the first round. The Chicago Bulls, kind of like a quiet dark horse favorite for me, lost. And no offense when I say this, but to the Pistons no less. The Pistons now taking over Motown stand up. And that is going to do it for round 1 of NBA Imperialism. Here is the map after every single team has had at least one go. Let's get on to round 2. And we've reset the wheel. I will officially stop taking off teams if they win it. Whoever wins continues on. Whoever loses gets eliminated from the Imperialism tournament. And let's spin the wheel to see who's next on the Imperialism march. We're officially in the second round. The witching hour. The New York Knicks once again ready to go. And they have all of Canada, so it's a little tough to say where are they going to go. I'm going to try to keep them isolated here in the Northeast and see if they can take on some of these teams. But if necessary, we will give them, Montana and Idaho and some of those states as well. Spin, spin, spin the wheel. Which way do the Knicks go? And you look at that, and that kind of feels like Detroit to me, doesn't it? If we take the Knicks right where they are, you sit them right here and you say, okay, this is New York, stand up. That's the Pistons. That's the team that just won. Let's do it. Knicks at the Pistons. And we got Jose Calderon versus Reggie Jackson. Going to be an interesting matchup because Jose Calderon actually played pretty well in the last Knicks game. DeMar DeRozan going to beast and feast all over KCP. Carmelo Anthony versus Paul George. Going to be a good one. Kristaps Porzingis versus Marcus Morris Sr. and Robin Lopez versus Andre Drummond. I don't know, and I'm fully expecting the New York Knicks to win this one. I don't know what position Paul George and Kristaps Porzingis and DeMar DeRozan is going to play. Definitely going to be a curious one, but here is the tip. And the Pistons actually win. Got Reggie Jackson bringing the ball up the court. KCP trying to dribble on DeMar DeRozan. I don't know what quality of defender DeMar DeRozan is in NBA 2K23 2016 rosters. In real life, he's pretty bad, but that's because he has a full offensive load out there in Chicago. Reggie pulls up for a long 2, and he splashes. Quick and easy 2-0 lead for the Detroit Pistons. And we got Jose running the offense, now kicking it to DeMar. There's a lot of playmaking and shot creating on this team. Don't know why they're running the triangle offense here, but here's Melo operating out of the post on the best defender. Shimmy, shake, and Hakeem the Dream makes a 2. Look at Carmelo Anthony with the up and over jump hook kiss off the glass. That was a pretty nifty move there from Melo. I don't think he's ever done that. Jump hooks, he's more of a jump shooter. Reggie Jackson, speaking of jump shooting, in and out on the open but fading 3. DeMar brings the ball up the court the other way, kicks it to Jose Calderon, and I see KP waiting, calling for the ball. Not getting it, but Robin Lopez does with a mismatch jump hook over PG. And he misses embarrassingly. Got Marcus Morris Sr. bringing the ball up the other way. Had a notion to shoot it, but he did not. Reggie just going crazy, and he's barreling all over DeMar DeRozan, who picks up the charge. DeMar is pumped. DeMar is hyped. I don't know why we're watching this one a lot longer, but I want to see who takes the first 4-2 lead or the first 5-2 lead or whatever. I don't know. I like watching Carmelo Anthony play. Prime Carmelo was just a joy to watch on the offensive end. Defensively, not so much, but here's Melo. Pump fake, fading, got Paul George up in the air, and he makes it. And the Knicks jump out to an early 4-2 lead in the first quarter. For whatever reason, the Knicks are getting whooped. Yeah, I saw the record on the introduction page. They were like 4-16. For whatever reason, this Knicks roster does not click. There's no chemistry, and the Detroit Pistons are gonna win by a lot. What happened? Andre Drummond smiling, cheesing, 32 and 12. Paul George gave you 26 and 5. Dinwiddie gave you 18 points in 17 minutes. Reggie Jackson wasn't great. Marcus Morris Sr., KCP. What happened to the Knicks? DeMar gave you 26. Melo only gave you 19 and 5. Porzingis gave you 11 and 9. And their bench was horrible. It's because their lack of depth, isn't it? Because they traded away all the depth for Carmelo Anthony. I certainly wasn't expecting that because they got a pretty good, like if you do the no 90 overall roster challenge, they're kind of there. Jose Calderon, DeMar DeRozan 89, Melo 90, Kristaps Porzingis 84, Robin Lopez 80. They have a pretty decent starting lineup, but I guess the Detroit Pistons are the victors. Gonna be picking up Carmelo Anthony, the new 90 overall, and we'll give Andre Drummond the overall boost. I'm gonna continue to give it to guys who were on the team originally, and I think with a roster like this, we'll drop Paul George to play the 2. So it'll be a Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Marcus Morris Sr. lineup. Just because that seems to make more sense. And Paul George was a natural 2-guard before he had that brutal leg injury when he was playing for the Olympic squad. And so who'd have thunk at the beginning of this video, but the Detroit Pistons eliminate the New York Knicks, the Canadian Knicks, who are taking over all of Northeast America. I thought they were going to be kind of favorites, but hey, whatever happens, happens, and that means the Knicks are officially gone. And look at the Detroit Pistons start to grow, start to bloom, picking up superstars. They're starting to make a little bit of a threat here to the Cavaliers. Not so much the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks are a superpower. And New York Knicks, get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. Next team on the offensive is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers. But the Clippers, they're going to have to play somebody. Suns, Blazers, Warriors, doesn't matter who. Make up your damn mind. And we'll spin the wheel, and it looks like it is going to go north. That is... We'll say that the Clippers are rooted in Los Angeles with this, and that they're taking on the Warriors. We'll do Clippers at Warriors. To be honest, I kind of forgot that the Warriors were the 73-9 Warriors who picked up a prime Boogie Cousins, but here you have it. Cliff Paul taking on Stephanie Curry, Kobe Bryant, an aging 40-year-old Kobe Bryant versus Klay Thompson, Jeff Green versus Andre Iguodala, Blake Griffin versus Draymond Green, and Boogie Cousins versus DeAndre Jordan. The Warriors are going to be the overwhelming favorites, but Steph Curry plays pretty bad in simulation, so for whatever reason does Klay Thompson. Andre Iguodala isn't really a superstar with respect to some of the teams that we're playing. There is a chance if the chemistry clicks for the Clippers, and let's say Kobe Bryant pops off for like a efficient 30 points again. Iggy pulling up from the elbow, and that's not a good start if you're rooting for the Clippers here. Andre Iguodala with the smooth jumper, something he's not really known for. Cliff Paul bringing the ball up the other way. Offense is going to be a screen for Kobe, being beat up by Klay Thompson. That's a fun matchup. Kobe pump fake, dribbling, and he just goes right around Klay Thompson. That's too easy. Klay, I've been heralding your defense all video. I said you were the best two-way player in the NBA, and you just gave up a layup. Steph Curry fading 3. Not a good shot. Need to get your feet set, Klay. Nope, Steph. Otherwise, those shots aren't going to go in. Trust me, I play a lot of 2K for Blazers franchise. Cliff Ball dribbling the air out of the ball. Kicks it to Kobe Bryant in the post again. Gonna school, and Klay's up in the air, goes around, gets the block. Good defense from Klay Thompson after initially jumping on the pump fake. Gives it to Steph, who's no stranger to taking really low quality shots. Got a screen in the corner, doesn't get it from Boogie. Boogie's taking out his do-it-yourself kit, and he draws a foul on DeAndre Jordan. We'll hop into Simcast here, and into the first quarter, we got a really close game. Really high scoring game as well going into the second quarter. Back and forth here at halftime. Dubs jump out to a 10-point lead late in the second quarter here into the third. Kind of close, kind of not really. About an 8-point game. Holding steady at this lead. If the Clippers can go on a run, they'll have a chance to win. If the Warriors go on a run, which it looks like they're doing, they're going to dominate this game. And it looks like there's not enough help if you're an LA Clippers fan. And unfortunately, you're going to lose by 30 points to the best team in the NBA in the regular season. Boogie Cousins had himself a game, 27, 12, and 8. Harrison Barnes gave you 26. Klay gave you 21. And this is what I mean. Steph only gave you 16 points and 10 assists. Like, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but this is supposed to be the best player in the NBA, unanimous MVP. It's 16 points. That's not great. Iggy gave you 14 and 7, and Draymond Green gave you 14, 12, and 9. As for the Clippers, Blake Griffin was good, 26, 9, and 8. Kobe gave you 22 points. 1 rebound, 1 assist. That's about right. JJ Redick gave you an efficient 16. Actually, never mind. 14 shots, not great. DeAndre Jordan, 12 and 8. Cliff Ball, 11 and 15. I don't know how to feel about that. And the clear and away best player is Clifford Paul. So he's going to be going over to the Golden State Warriors, and he's going to be playing backup point guard, which is fun for him, I'm sure. 6-man to Steph Curry, who's officially now a 99 overall. Their roster is going to look like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, Boogie Cousins, and Cliff Paul off the bench. Definitely stacked. Also got Harrison Barnes just sitting here. But yeah, the Warriors just continue to get better. They take superpowers from teams, and there's not a lot to say. Clipper Nation, you tried, but ultimately you come up short. Make that some blue, and the Clippers are gone as the Golden State Warriors, as we predicted at the beginning of this, are continuing to grow and march upon the rest of the NBA. Let's go ahead and skip over to the wheel. Clippers officially gone off the wheel as the spinner gets thinner. The Milwaukee Bucks. That'll work. Go to the map. Let's see where the Bucks are. They got a pretty big territory here. They took over Minnesota. They have Wisconsin. I think they took over one more state as well. So they got some nice girth, if you will. Let's see what direction do the Bucks want to go. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Which way do they want to go? They going south. They taking over Missouri. Yeah, Missouri. Let's go ahead and fill this out for the Milwaukee Bucks. And Giannis going to get another overall point. Just like in real life, he is developing well. Go boom. Press this button. Got to press that. There's so many buttons to press when you're doing 6 hours of recording for NBA Imperialism. And here is, Karl Towns. I forgot they picked him up, but Giannis officially now an 86 overall. Not impressive, but they got good chemistry here. For whatever reason, they dominated the last game we saw them play. Like I said, not taking the Bucks off the wheel. We're just going to continue to spin. This is round 2 of Imperialism, and the Charlotte Hornets are going to be the next team. Let's see what possible directions can they go. They got Wizards, Cavs, Free State, Grizzlies. They can go anywhere. They got a lot of opportunities here, and we'll spin the wheel. We'll spin the wheel. Which way do they want to go? I think that's a Hawks matchup. I know it doesn't match up perfectly if you look at, say, Charlotte right here, but let's say we push Charlotte here, then it makes sense. So I'm totally fine with doing Hawks. No, we'll do Hornets at the Hawks. Been a while since we saw these teams, but Kemba Walker versus Jeffrey Teague, gonna be a good matchup. Courtney Lee versus Victor Oladipo. Thabo Sefolosha versus Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Marvin Williams versus Al Horford. Hassan Whiteside versus Al Jefferson. It's kind of interesting because in the one hand, the Hornets have the only 90 overall player, but at the same time, the Hawks have the entirely better roster, top to bottom, outside of that 192 overall player in Kemba Walker. But the Atlanta Hawks do win the tip, and I got the Charlotte Hornets rocking the Bobcats jerseys. I don't know, they're just fun colors. For all of the problems that Charlotte has had since their basically creation, they do have some fun jerseys when they were the Bobcats. How long was it? They were the Bobcats for like 2 seconds, and then they went immediately to become the Charlotte Hornets again. Anyways, Jeff Teague looks like he's going to shoot up and over, but that is Hassan Whiteside, a good Hassan Whiteside. Y'all remember when Hassan was good? Cleaning up that mess. Kemba Walker rallying the troops on the other side of the court, dribbling, isoing, stepping, going around Jeffrey Teague, and he's slashing. No, he's kicking to Big Al Jefferson, who misses an easy jumper, and that's kind of how Al Jefferson's career is gone. Really, ever since he left, I think he was on the Jazz, right? Was he a Jazz man? Victor Oladipo trying to break down Thabo Sefolosha here, but we got an open Thabo. No, he was breaking down Courtney Lee. You know what? I forgot the players, these teams, they're really bad at this point, and I think the Hawks should win. But interestingly, the Hornets jump out to a lead in the first quarter. Back and forth game here into the third quarter. Really high-scoring contest, no defense allowed. About a 104-99 game. Am I really going to have to sit and watch the Hornets at the Hawks? Is this the game that's going to be close for us? Looks like the Hawks are starting to pull away here. About a 9-point game, 8-point game, 10-point game. I mean, the Hornets are trying to make a game out of it, but ultimately they come up short. 137-121. Thabo Sefolosha put up 27 points. Victor Oladipo gave you a solid 23. Al Horford 28 and 9. Hassan Whiteside. Good Hassan Whiteside. Back when he cared, Hassan Whiteside 16 and 14. Jeff T gave you 13 and 10. And Kyle Korver 13. As for the Hornets, Kemba Walker gave you 27. Courtney Lee gave you 18. Nicholas Batum gave you 15. Cody Zeller gave you 14. Not a terrible effort from the Hornets, but they're just not very talented. And battle of the H words, we got Kemba Walker coming over to the Hornets. Gonna look like this. Kemba, Oladipo, Cephalosha, Horford, and Whiteside. It's a weird team that the Hawks are creating here because they picked up Hassan Whiteside at his peak, but he's only an 85 overall. They picked up Victor Oladipo, only an 83 overall. They picked up a 90, but it's Kemba Walker, who's a complete liability on the defensive end. So definitely interesting sort of roster construction, if you will, that they're building. But here are the Hornets, and there they go, gone. Build this up for the Hawks as they're continuing to grow along the East Coast here. Gonna have to take on the Cavaliers at some point. Everybody is gonna have to take on the Cavaliers at some point. And the Hornets, you came, you saw, you tried. Get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. And we'll see who comes up next on the list. It looks like it'll be the Wizards. The Wizards just barely eke out over the Milwaukee Bucks. We look at the Wizards and we say, hey, Washington, what are you going to do? They already took Delaware, so they could take Jersey or they got to take on the Cavs/Hawks. And I mean, they've got an okay team, all things being equal. So it'll be a fun one for Washington. This was back when they had playoff aspirations. Y'all remember what that used to be like, Washington? I don't think you can go that way. So we're going to pretend that never happened, and we'll spin in a direction you can actually go. Are you going to take on the Hawks immediately? I mean, that's fine, I guess. And of course, don't forget to give Big Al Horford the 1 overall boost. He's readily approaching the 90 overall squad. And we got John Wall versus Kemba Walker, a fun matchup of athletic guards. Victor Oladipo versus Bradley Beal. And then Otto Porter Jr. versus Thabo Cephalosha. Nene versus Al Horford. And Marcin Gortat versus Hassan Whiteside. Also, Speaking of I have to say that my favorite edition of the Washington Wizards jerseys are those Michael Jordan jerseys. The ones we rock in here. I don't know what it is, but the blue just seemed to really work for them. This new kind of red and dark blue, kind of navy blue format that they got going, I'm just not a fan of. Also, look at the size difference between Kemba and John Wall. Good Lord, John Wall almost blocks that shot. Gortat, make sure he comes down with the rebound. Kicking up to Bradley Beal, who's going to be looking for his own jumper. Remember, he was the number 2, the Robin, back in the day when John Wall was healthy. It's been a long time since that happened, but hey, don't know what this possession is. It's literally just Bradley Beal dribbling, and there's a backdoor cut for John Wall, who makes a quick 2 points. We're going to hop into Simcast here because nobody wants to see Wizards and Hawks. Unfortunately, here at halftime, the Wizards have a little bit of a lead. This is what I mean when the roster construction with the Hawks was a little funny, because they've beaten like 3 or 4 teams, taken their best players, got the 1 overall boost, but they're still not a great squad. Now they might finally be able to be a good squad here, taking John Wall. Maybe they got a nice 10, 13 point lead here. And wow, I didn't think the Hawks were going to do it, but they pulled it off. 119-107. Kemba had a great game. Jeff Teague off the bench was good. Al Horford, Hassan Whiteside, Paul Millsap. Good effort from them. As for the Wizards, wow, tremendously disappointing. 42 minutes and 19 points. Yeah, he got 16 assists, but you need more scoring from John Wall, DeJounte Blair. Bradley Beal gave you 12 points. That's frustrating. Why did he only play 28 minutes? He got in foul trouble. Really? We'll be bringing over John Wall. I think theoretically I could have taken a Bradley Beal, but he's just not that good. An 88 overall for this team really isn't going to put them over the top. Now they have 2 90s, although they're the same position. I think they can make it work. Make sure that Big Al Horford quickly approaches the 90 overall squad with that upgrade point. So now they have Kemba Walker and John Wall and Hassan Whiteside and Victor Oladipo. Definitely lacking in size on the guys that they brought over. Kemba, 6 feet. John Wall, 6'3". Victor Oladipo, 6'4", and then Hassan Whiteside is a legit 7 feet tall. But they're just building a weird team out there in Atlanta, man. But the Washington Wizards do, in fact, fall. Go ahead and fill up the rest of the map with this color. It looks like we're missing a little smidge right here, so we'll do it manually. Does that look good? Not really, but hey, I don't get paid to look good. I get paid to make you laugh. I actually don't get paid at all, so... But we need to actually, hold on, ignore this spin. It's not happening because it's going to land on the Wizards, who, by the way, lost. They're going to have to get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. Next up to the chopping block, looks like it's going to be the Spurs. Remember, it's been a while since we played with them, but they are a menacing team. They have Kawhi Leonard. They have James Harden. They have all it takes to win a championship. Now, they might run into the Thunder, and that is my big concern here. The Suns, easy win for them. Any of these states will get free overall points, but if they run into the Thunder, not going to have a good time because KD in his prime, Russ in his prime, tough matchup even if you are Kawhi Leonard. You can't go that way. Actually, they can. Yeah, we'll do Spurs at the Suns. And I think we all know how this one is going to go. Tony Parker versus Eric Bledsoe. That's a bit of a push. And then you got James Harden versus Devin Booker, a 99 overall Kawhi Leonard versus PJ Tucker, Anthony Davis versus Markieff Morris, and Tim Duncan versus Tyson Chandler. I mean, let's be honest here. This is going to go one way, and it's going to be a spanking. Bend over, Phoenix fans. I know you're the home team. You're going to have to take this L, and here we are with the tip. Tyson Chandler in the game. It's been a while since we saw him on an NBA court. Eric Bledsoe bringing the ball up the court the other way. Devin Booker going to try to ISO up on James Harden, and he does with a step back three, and he splashes. Okay. Trying to get competitive here. Did not think I'd see that, but Tony Parker going to be running the offense. Now Anthony Davis has the ball on one of the Morris twins. I think it's Markieff Morris at this point, looking for someone to hand the ball off to. And it's James Harden. Going to get his revenge. Step back three. And he misses. Tim Duncan, though, on the offensive glass, misses the putback. And the Suns have a chance to go up 5-0 here in the first quarter. I know it's only 5 points, but just saying, any lead that the Suns can get is pivotal because they're supremely overmatched in the overalls department. Eric Bledsoe playing, passing it, and we got a wide open PJ Tucker here, and he goes in and out. Anthony Davis grabs the rebound, ignores James Harden waiting for a pass. He's going to take it himself. Now he kicks it to James Harden. And what is the play here? A little horns action here. AD just taking out a kid. Oh, Tim Duncan on the backdoor cut, and he gets the 4-5 pass from Anthony Davis. And in the first quarter, the Spurs already jump out to a lead. Second quarter, it's a bit of a blowout. Third quarter here, a little closer than I thought. It's only about a 10-point game. If the Suns can go on a run, there's a chance. 10 points. 10 points. They're kind of hanging in this 10-point deficit, but they just don't have enough. And they ultimately fall 131-106. I think we all expected that. Booker did his best, 30 points and 17 shots. Brandon Knight was okay. Eric Bledsoe was pretty bad, and he's the one who's going to be going over to the team. James Harden, 32, 9, and 11. Never forget. Kawhi Leonard, 19 and 16. Timmy D gave you 18. Anthony Davis gave you 16, 9, and 5. And Tony Parker gave you 15 and 10. And we look at the battle of the S words. So you have Tony Parker, who's an 83, and you got Tim Duncan, who's an 83 as well. And then you got a whole bunch of 90s in the middle wing positions, right? So you look at the other S words, and you got Eric Bledsoe, who's an 85. And I guess that's it. So is Eric Bledsoe going to take over Tony Parker's job? That's not really the move that I was hoping to make, but I guess it's fine. So it'll be Eric Bledsoe, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Tim Duncan. I mean, it's fine. Not great, not terrible, as Kawhi Leonard now officially a 99 without any morale boost. He is a stud. What is his dunk ratings a 99? Standing dunks a 99. Kawhi Leonard is one heck of a player back when he was on the Spurs. Go over to the map and make sure that we say thank you for everything that you have done. Thank you for your services, Phoenix. But have you tried the Phoenix nachos? They're not great. Go ask Charles Barkley. Filled it in, and the Suns are gone. Spurs taking over basically all of the, I don't know why they call this the Midwest, but I think that's appropriate, right? Got an interesting looking map here. We need to figure out what's going on with the Celtics and the Nets, and then the Cavs are going to have to take over. They've only played, I think, 2 teams at this point, and one of them was the 76ers. So does that even count? I'm looking at the wrong window here. We're going to go to the wheel, and we're going to say, Phoenix, get the hell off of my wheel, as the spinner gets thinner. Looks like we have maybe 10, 11 teams left here, and the Golden State Warriors are up next. Blazers or Spurs? Damn, I kind of wish they'd save the Spurs for later, but you got to take your pick. Boom, boom, spin, spin, spin the wheel. Which way do you want to go? And that's Blazers. Yep, let's do it. So on 2 levels, first of all, we all know how this is going to go. I know the Blazers picked up a Gordon Hayward, who's like a fine analytics addition, but he's not even 90 overall in 2K. And then even without, and it was the standard Warriors versus Blazers, Steph versus Dame, CJ versus Clay matchup. We all know how that went as well. But here you have it. Stephanie Curry versus Damian Lillard. CJ McCollum versus Klay Thompson. Andre Iguodala versus Gordon Hayward. Going to be a good one. And then this is where it falls off. Draymond Green versus Myers Leonard. Boogie Cousins versus Mason Plumlee. I only expect it to go one way. And it's not going to be good. That said, maybe the Blazers have a little chemistry. They get a hot hand. Draymond Green isn't going to put up a lot of points. Boogie Cousins maybe a a hit or miss kind of night for him. And then you never know. I mean, I know, but you never know. 2K does hate Stephen Curry. Here he is dribbling around trying to shoot over Myers Leonard, and it doesn't matter. He makes it anyway. And I'm just wondering, where does Dame go on the Warriors? Because they already have Cliff Paul coming off the bench. Is he going to be like a backup shooting guard, I guess, for them? And they're going to be rocking a 3-point guard lineup now. Dame is open for 3 here. Does miss because, well, it's Dame time. And we got Andre Iguodala bringing the ball up the other way. Stephen Curry running off some screens. He's going to be open for 3. Pulls up and in and out. Not what you want to see from the unanimous MVP. Dame looking to respond. Gonna get a screen from Myers Leonard. Nope, we're kicking it. And what is this play? This is just a dumb play. But there you go. There's a screen. Step back for Dame. That was a smooth animation. He misses too. And probably 2 of the best shooters in NBA history are really struggling to score right now. It's still 2-0. Here's Clay open for 3, jacking it and splashing it. And I probably shouldn't say that Clay is jacking it because that just sounds bad on every level in the second quarter. And it's, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know what's happening. Wow, look at this fourth quarter though. I call it a comeback, but it's not. But hey, at least the Blazers tried. They lose 144-113. Dame was good. Gordon Hayward was not. And oh wow, CJ McCollum gave you 7 points on 1 of 8 shooting. That's not gonna work. Klay Thompson 29, Boogie Cousins 23, Iggy 20, Draymond 20, Steph 14-9, Cliff 14-7. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah, you know, right? What I'll do is bump Damian Lillard up to the shooting guard position. His overall will take a hit, and that kind of works so that Klay Thompson can still get his minutes as well. But Steph Curry's already a 99 overall. I guess we'll give the next overall boost to the other Splash brother. Klay Thompson now a 94 overall. They just have too many good players on their team. If we could get him a superstar small forward, that might be the fix. You know, like a Kevin Durant, if he could come over and join the Warriors, I think that'd be a really good move for him. What do you guys think? Anyway, going over to the map and all of this black area that the Portland Trail Blazers were able to conquer is going to officially become Golden State Burnt Blue Blazers. Get the hell off of my map. And here you go. Golden State Warriors just picking up a whole bunch of real estate. They're going to be filling out some overalls here in this empty stretch of land. The Montanas and the Dakotas and all that stuff. And I forgot to say, Trailblazers, get the hell off of my wheel and let's spit it one more time. Starting to get into the final stretches of Imperialism. And one of those teams, the Brooklyn Nets, is going to be next on the list. And you look at them, and they've got a couple possibilities. They could take on the Pistons, although at this point, I kind of wouldn't want to take on the Pistons. They've been pretty mean and feisty. Could take on the Celtics with Isaiah Thomas, and then they could take Delaware or Rhode Island, who's still there. If you can see way in that little corner there, going into the spinner. Spin, spin, spin to win. Which way do you want to go? And they are going directly left just for the sake of eliminating. Man, I don't know. You know, let's do it. That's Cleveland to me. Let's do Brooklyn Nets at the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's been a while since we saw King James. I'm not sure if this is going to be a fair matchup, but you got Kyrie Irving versus Jared Jack. Oof. Jared Smith versus Wayne Ellington. Bojan Bogdanovic versus LeBron James. Thad Young versus Kevin Love. And Tristan Thompson versus a 90 overall Brook Lopez. I mean, you already know. We appreciate what Brook Lopez is going to do. He's going to try to be a good player, as this lady sings once again. But let's be honest. Only one thing's going to happen, and that is LeBron James winning by 70. Here at the, the Rocket Mortgage Arena. What's their terrible name? They got some awful name in Cleveland, but the Brooklyn Nets do, in fact, win the tip because Tristan Thompson has the size of a power forward. He's kind of 6'9"-ish, while Brook Lopez is a legit 7-footer. Brook coming up to set the screen. He is their only good player. Wayne Ellington pulling up and trying to kiss it off the glass like he's Russell Westbrook. That's not going to work. Kevin Love gives it up to LeBron James. He's got Jared Jack on his back. And he just goes right around and lays it up and gets a foul. That was kind of a ugly foul call. But hey, let's hop into Simcast. And the Cavaliers have a bit of a lead. It's actually closer than I thought. Not a lot of defense being played here. But wow, a 51-point second quarter for the Cavaliers gives them a 20-point lead here going into the fourth. And it's going to be pretty much what we expected. They scored 166 points. No defense allowed. LeBron James had 29, 12, and 19 Kevin Love gave you 25. Kyrie Irving gave you 24 and 10. J.R. Smith gave you 24. Timofey Mozgov gave you 24. Robert Covington gave you 22 as well. For the Nets, Shane Larkin gave you 22. That'll work. Brook Lopez had a triple-double. I mean, he tried, man. 20, 11, and 10. Bogey gave you 19. Bargnani gave you 19. Jarrett Jack gave you 17, 11. Thad Young gave you 16. If they had any semblance of defense, maybe this would have been close. Brook Lopez does make his way over to the team. They need to fill the hole that J.R. Smith is currently filling because you don't want him on your team in overtime. Woof. Kyrie Irving, though, that'll work. LeBron, 99. Kevin Love, 99. And now Brook Lopez at 90 overall as well. We'll go ahead and give Kyrie Irving that one overall boost. Get him up to a 93 overall. And unfortunately, the last of the New York teams is gone as Cleveland marches on. Build this little strip here. I think could have got them New Jersey and just let Brooklyn survive another day, but I think this was a little more accurate to what the arrow predicted in Cleveland. Brooklyn Nets officially eliminated and the spinner gets thinner. Coming down to the end of this, there's still a couple superpowers in the West Coast, notably the Golden State Warriors, Thunder, and Spurs. And what direction do the Warriors want to go? They seem to be having a pretty active stretch. I think unless the arrow forces me to, they're going to be getting some of these empty states and getting basically a free overall point. But let's see which way the arrow goes. And it's going in a direction they can go. Next. Do it again. Remix. Rematch. And we'll go ahead and give them... I'll give them Idaho. We'll leave Washington for a later date. Boom. Just taking up the entire West Coast here. And of course, don't forget, they're going to get another overall boost, which is just a little worrying for anybody who's going to try to face them. But I mean, this is what you expect when you're a 73-9 team. Klay Thompson now a 95 overall. Spin the wheel. Who's going to go next? The Hawks again. It seems like we get the same teams every single time. I don't think this wheel is truly random. But we'll go over to the Hawks. We've seen them like 15 times now. They've taken over a decent chunk of land here. Probably going to be taking on the Grizzlies. Could take the Cavs. Could take West Virginia. You never know. Boom this, boom that, boop this, and let's spin the wheel. And that is Northwest. Do we make it work? Do we give them? That the state? Nah, we'll do the Hawks. We'll do the Hawks at the Grizzlies. That seems to make a little more sense. We got a battle of two different philosophies here. The Grizzlies have just kind of been hiding, guerrilla warfare, waiting for their moment to strike, while the Hawks have been out and about hustling. They've been picking up John Wall. They've been picking up Kemba Walker. So you got Michael Conley versus Kemba Walker, Victor Oladipo versus Vince Carter, Thabo Sefolosha versus Matt Barnes, Zach Randolph versus Al Horford, and Hassan Whiteside versus Big Marc Gasol. The Hawks, they've been pretty dominant throughout this entire stretch of imperialism, so I'm going to pick them to win, but you never know. Grizzlies are the home team. Grizzlies do have a couple of solid pieces, Michael Conley is no stranger to big moments. Neither is Zach Randolph, and of course, Marc Gasol has won a championship of his own with the help of Kawhi Leonard, or more like he was the help to Kawhi Leonard, but don't know what this possession is. 90-year-old Vince Carter has the ball pulling up for a three. I don't know about that. Big Al Horford picking it up off the glass. And Kemba bringing the ball up the other way. Dribbling, isoing, going right around Mike Conley and 2 points. And I think that's going to be how the most of this game is going to look. The Grizzlies have a little bit of a lead here. And they've lost it. And is it a back and forth game at halftime? It's actually a little closer than I thought. Here into the third quarter. And now the Grizzlies have a lead. Okay, upset alert yet again. The Hawks have been dancing around raindrops. They've been trying to avoid losing, and we got a close game here. We'll hop in. 2.5 minutes left. 4-point game. Hawks have the ball. They need to answer it. They got John Wall, Jeff Teague, Hassan Whiteside. Who is this? Al Horford and somebody in the corner. Is that Kemba Walker as well, rocking the 3-point guard lineup? You'll love to see it. But Kemba has the ball. Lance Stevenson is D'ing him up. That's not ideal. John Wall got Mike Conley on him. Kemba going around. Kemba going to do some glitchy like fading three, splashing, greening, exactly what the Hawks needed. And he's got his 24th point. It's a 1-point game here with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. The Grizzlies call a timeout. Matt Barnes on the inbound, and he gives it to Zach Randolph, who's got Al Horford D'ing him up, and Lance Stevenson is in the game. Who knows what the hell he's going to do. Lance no stranger to making insane, obtuse basketball decisions. Dribble handoff for Mike Conley, tries to go around John Wall, doesn't have the speed to. He's going to try to get crafty here, go up and around, and it's a 3-point game, and now the Hawks call a timeout. Hopefully these teams stop using their timeouts because I kind of don't want to see that anymore, but here is John Wall. Victor Oladipo trying to run off a couple screens here, dribble handoff, nothing doing. Hassan Whiteside going to come set the screen. John Wall takes, goes, and he kicks it to an open Oladipo for three. Splash! And we got a tie game. A couple of back-to-back huge threes in the clutch here for the Hawks from Victor Oladipo and from Kemba Walker. Their scoring is legendary. Now, can they play a little bit of defense against the grit and grind of the Memphis Grizzlies? Zach Randolph coming up to set the screen. And in a deep drop was Al Horford, and Michael Conley misses the go-ahead basket. Oladipo coming back the other way. John Wall takes the ball, had a step, going around Mike Conley. Is he going to go? He's going to try and force it up, and he gets the foul. Doesn't make the and one, but they have the chance to take a lead here after making those threes. First free throw is up, and good for Jonathan Wall. Next free throw going to be up. And in and out. Only a 1-point lead for the Atlanta Hawks. 1 minute, 10 seconds left. Mike Conley just taking the ball all the way, taking out his do-it-yourself kit, but he gets blocked. John Wall comes up with a huge defensive stop now, and they're in transition. Dribbling behind the back, trying to go around Marcus Gasol. Deep paint. Kicks it to Oladipo, who pulls it out. He says, let's slow this down. Let's run some offense here. And I'm going to throw the ball out of bounds. Looking like the Golden State Warriors here. Okay. Well, now it's Grizzlies ball with their chance to take the lead of their own. Only a 1-point game, but the possessions are running out. Mike Conley trying to do it himself. Again, is he going to put up a shot and get blocked again? What is the move? What is the plan here? Ugly offense. Mike Conley shut down, puts up a contested shot. Not a good possession for the Grizzlies. Only 36 seconds left in the game. John Wall bringing the ball up the court the other way. John Wall is a big man. Holy crap. Look how much bigger he is than Mike Conley. Taking a screen from Al Horford. And he's going to go right around Zach Randolph and throw it down. Grizzlies need a timeout. It's officially a 3-point game. Bad, porous defense from the grit and grind Grizzlies. And it is now a desperation 3-pointer needed. I guess is the word I'm looking for. 22 seconds left in the game. Mike Conley trying to run some offense. Looks like nothing good is happening here. Mike Conley, though, is going to step back. Pump fake again. Completely shut down. There's Marcus Gasol running out of bounds. Marcus Gasol with the costly turnover. Hawks use their last timeout to advance the ball, give it to Oladipo, who quickly gets fouled by Lance Stevenson. If he even makes one of the 2 free throws, it is officially a 2-possession game after that turnover from Marc Gasol. And there it is, now 107-103. No timeouts left in the game, 108-103. The Grizzlies are in complete desperation mode. 9 seconds left in the game. They got to get a 3 up, got to get the foul. Zach Randolph is not the one taking it. Here's Mike Conley pump faking, and time is out. They get too hesitant. And there you have it. The Grizzlies fall in a really close competitive game to the Atlanta Hawks, who continue to march. They're the Cinderella team of this year's Imperialism. Zach Randolph had a good game, 24-11. Marcus Gasol was solid, 20, 10, and 5. Vince Carter gave you 14. Matt Barnes was really bad, 6 of 20 shooting. Gave you 14 points, and Mike Conley coming down in the clutch was bad yet again. I feel like we've seen that before. This is for the Hawks. Kemba was good. Big Al Horford was good. John Wall was solid. Victor Oladipo was good. They need some wing help, and Hassan Whiteside only gave him 6 and 9. Nice. It will be setting the highest overall player. Now it's Marc Gasol taking over the center positions. So they still need a 3. They have Kemba Walker, Victor Oladipo, that was Eflosha, Al Horford, Marc Gasol. Off the bench is John Wall and Hassan Whiteside. They're kind of building a Warriors East here, a Warriors Light, if you will, as Al Horford, talk about development, is now in the 90 overall squad as the power forward of the Atlanta Hawks. Who would have thunk? And let's go ahead and make sure that the Grizzlies are off the map. Get the hell out of here. Hawks are starting to move inward. They're done with the coast, and now they're moving into Middle America. Grizzlies officially gone. Get the hell off the wheels. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams left in NBA Imperialism. We're coming down to the end, to the pinnacle. And of course, one of the teams that'll be in this finale is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Looking at the map, they got a couple teams that they can be taken on here. New Jersey just waiting to be taken. Got Rhode Island here. got the Celtics, got the Pistons, got the Hawks, got Kentucky. Whole bunch of directions that the Cavaliers can certainly choose to go. If they win, it doesn't really matter. They'll pick up somebody. They've already got a menacing starting lineup. Could they use the overall boosts? Maybe. And how does this look? I'm going to give him New Jersey. There we go. We could have him take on the Celtics, but I need to fill out some of these empty spaces on the map. And it just, of all the teams that don't need players, the Cavaliers are certainly one of them. Let's go ahead and give Kyrie Irving that 1 overall boost. Now he's a 94 overall. And we'll go right back to the wheel and spin it one more time. Are we that Blue Man Crew song? No, that's not who did it. Who sang One More Time? I'm going to have to look this up. It's Daft Punk. Can you believe it? It's Daft Punk. One more. Yeah, there we go. All right. I didn't need to. Oklahoma City Thunder are next on the wheel. What directions could they theoretically go? Pull them up on the map. There's a whole bunch of empty areas here. Probably going to have to force fill this out. And then we got Bucks, Hawks. So the Thunder, I'd like to avoid them taking on the Warriors if I can. The Spurs as well, but this is going to be basically these three teams are superpowers, and we're going to see how this plays out. Got these states here. Theoretically, could even take on the Bucks if it really comes to it. But let's spin the wheel. Which way do you want to go? And that is southeast. That seems pretty Spursy to me, doesn't it? Thunder at the Spurs? Yeah. Talk about the battle of the Titans. You have the Thunder, who with their homegrown talent, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams. You have the Spurs coming off the tail end of their homegrown talent. This was basically when the Spurs broke up and they revitalized their franchise with, ironically, the addition of a James Harden. You got Tony Parker, you got Kawhi Leonard, you got James Harden, Anthony Davis, Tim Duncan. This is going to be a good one, and honestly, I don't even know who's going to win. I think theoretically the Spurs should be the team to win, but Kevin Durant plays so much better than Kawhi does in simulation. Russell Westbrook is a beast. And then Anthony Davis, he's prone to disappearing. So we'll see. Spurs are the home team and they win the tip. Oh my God, Tony Parker just throws it away immediately and Russell Westbrook gets 2 points like it was nothing. What is happening? We are less than 9 seconds into the game and the Thunder have a miraculous 2-0 lead. I know that sentence isn't really common, but here's James Harden trying to ISO up on a good defender in Andre Roberson. Gets the screen, pulls up from 3, misses. And if those are the shots that James Harden is going to take, this might be over quick. But then again, Andre Roberson is jacking up threes with 20 seconds in the shot clock. What are you doing? And Anthony Davis wide open for the dunk. Great feed from James Harden here. And I don't know what happened. I think Serge Ibaka just lost his damn mind. Gonna have to come back the other way. We're tied up here at 2 apiece. 45 seconds into the contest, and this would be a great game to watch. Kevin Durant wide open for a long 2 splash. That's just money. That is automatic from Kevin Durant. You know who he is. He's gonna make every single jumper minus. There's not a shot that Kevin Durant can't make. It's more of where are his feet when he takes the shot. And Kawhi Leonard pulling up for a contested 2. He misses. Timmy D on the glass, gets the foul, gets the and 1. Timmy going to the free throw line. And we'll hop into Simcast. We could watch this the whole damn game. But unfortunately, we have other teams to attend to. So we got a back and forth game here going into halftime. Really high scoring game into the fourth quarter. It's 105-99 with 10 minutes left in the fourth. Definitely going to be watching this, though. The Thunder starting to extend a little bit of a lead here. This is going to be a problem. The Spurs cannot bite into this low scoring fourth quarter here. 9-point game, 7-point game, 5-point game. 54 seconds left. The Spurs need to get some buckets, and they need to get it fast. I don't know why Enes Kanter is checking in, nor Danilo Gallinari. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. Who has the ball? And the Thunder have the ball. So they're going to drain the clock. Spurs need to stop bad. They're struggling right now. Russell Westbrook going right around, drawing the foul. Not the end of the world. Russ probably going to make only 1 of 2. Here's the first free throw up and in. 6-point game, 47 seconds left. Next one is up. And he greens them. 2 for 2. And the Spurs in a bad situation here. Down by 7. They're going to need a 3. They're going to need some fast offense. Tony Parker dribbling the ball. Kicks it. Timmy Duncan doesn't get the and 1. Blows the layup. What is this? Game 6 of the NBA Finals? Timmy D blows the layup. And then Gallo throws it away. There's still hope, but only 30 seconds left. And LaMarcus Aldridge is trying to dribble the ball up the court. And now he got fouled. Nope, timeout. Gonna need a quick 3 off of an inbound play here. 26 seconds left for the Spurs. Desperation time now. Tim Duncan with the inbound. Who's he giving it to? Kawhi Leonard, who gives it up. Who's giving it up? Who's getting it back? Clock is ticking. Time is running out. Tony Parker gives it to a contested James Harden for 3. And Tim Duncan on the glass kicks it out to LaMarcus Aldridge for 3. And that's game. The Oklahoma City Thunder have knocked off the San Antonio Spurs. Can you believe it? 123 to 116. The entire nation is in disbelief as the Thunder advance. Kawhi Leonard, 99 overall, doesn't matter. He's not Kevin Durant. You know who he is. And unfortunately, the aging Spurs fall. I mean, nobody had 20 points. Anthony Davis, 19, 7, and 8. Kawhi, like I said, Kawhi in simulation doesn't put up buckets. 18, 7, 6, and 3 steals. Dirk gave you 17. Tony Parker gave you 15. Tim Duncan gave you 13 and 7. Really bad performances from the 90 overalls on the Spurs. As for the Thunder, Kevin Durant, you know who he is, 29 points. Russ gave you a triple-double, 27, 11, and 18. Serge Ibaka gave you 19. Even Andre Roberson pitched in with 15 points. Wow. And Kevin Durant going to be bumped up to the power forward position because Kawhi Leonard, 99 overall, is coming over to join the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we'll be giving Kevin that 1 overall boost as well. Back up to a 97, I guess. I don't know how to deal with that because theoretically he lost an overall point jumping up, but at the same time, none of his skills have changed. I don't really know. We're going to leave it as is. So Kevin Durant back to a 97. Kawhi Leonard coming over 99 overall. Their starting lineup is getting mean. So you got Russell Westbrook. Andre Roberson, still need to improve that. Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Steven Adams. Should we even? What if we drop Kawhi to play the 2? We could do that. And then keep Serge Ibaka in the starting lineup. So what does this look like? And then they're going to look like this. Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams, Danilo Gallinari, Andre Roberson. That looks a little bit better. I know we're finagling a little bit, but it is what it is. Welcome to NBA Imperialism as the Spurs officially gone. Eliminated. Who would have thunk as the Oklahoma City Thunder might be the only competition left for the Golden State Warriors on this side of the country, and they take a whole bunch of land back. Imperialism is going strong. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams left. Spurs, get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. Next team on the list. And it looks like the Detroit Pistons are going to be coming up next. Remember, Detroit has upset a couple teams already. I think they have Paul George now on the team. So there is a Vermont, Hampshire just waiting to be taken. These are all bodies of water. They could take on the Bucks. Theoretically, there's still Kentucky waiting to be picked up. And then the Cavaliers are just sitting there waiting for their chance to jump at the best player left on the Pistons. So we'll spin the wheel where the Pistons going. And that feels Bucksian to me, doesn't it? Feels like Milwaukee. Pistons at the Bucks. Yeah. Got Reggie Jackson versus Michael Carter Williams. Not a big discrepancy, but then Paul George versus Chris Middleton. Back when they were young and not good. Carmelo Anthony versus Giannis. That's about a push. Marcus Morris Sr. versus Jabari Parker. And Andre Drummond versus Karl Anthony Towns. Pretty good matchup. If Paul George can be the X factor that he's supposed to be with a 12 overall skill gap between him and a young Chris Middleton, this should be a dominant game for the Detroit Pistons. But you never know. That's why it's Imperialism, a one-game winner-take-all tournament. And we have Karl Anthony Towns losing the tip to Andre Drummond. Reggie Jackson brings the ball up the court the other way. Michael Carter Williams picking him up. And we have our screen set by Andre Drummond. Reggie going right around Karl Towns. Kicks it. Drummond has a mismatch. Going into the post. Jump hook. And he makes it with a little baby hook there. That'll work if you're a Pistons fan and you go up to a quick 2-0 lead. For whatever reason, the Pistons are kind of like the Hawks. They just got a lot of good chemistry going here. Giannis kicking it into the post to Karl Towns, being beat up by Drummond. And this is a pretty even matchup as well. I know Karl Towns is the #1 overall pick, but this is when Andre Drummond was supposed to be good. 5-second back to the basket call. I don't know what this is, but that happened. I don't know how to describe that. He just sat for 10 seconds, threw the ball up, and then immediately got his own rebound. That'll work, I guess. Carmelo Anthony should probably get a touch here. There he is, wide open, and he throws it down as well. We got a high-scoring game here in Milwaukee. Kind of startling how good the Milwaukee Bucks have been ever since Giannis turned into a stud. Like before him, they were just so bad, struggling, trying to find good talent like Jabari Parker. And then Giannis said, I'm going to turn my game up to another level. And they just have been notable ever since. Because before that, they were dealing with the Michael Reds and the Ray Allens. And, you know, it's been a long time since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson were on their team. But here they come, down 4-2. I know I'm kind of talking over it. It is fine. There's still 10.5 minutes. There's a double team coming. I don't know what's happening. But Chris Middleton was wide open in the corner, and Jabari Parker missed that because he's a bad basketball player. Wow. Completely cooked Reggie Jackson, though. And we'll hop into Simcast. Got a close game here in the first quarter going into the second, and it is a back and forth game. The Pistons have a little bit of a lead. Now it's not, and it's back and forth again into the third quarter. Fourth quarter, really high scoring, competitive, close contest. Got a back and forth game yet again. We'll see. 107, 109, 109, 2.5 minutes left. What better time to hop in than right freaking now? Miles Plumlee, who does not look like that, will be inbounding the ball, being D'd up by Miles Plumlee. I don't know who these players are or who created these character models, but not exactly what they look like. MCW grabs the screen, goes right around, and gets his shit rejected by Andre Drummond. Melo coming up the other way, looking to take advantage of a clutch bucket here. Reggie Jackson now going to run the offense. And we'll see what this play is. Melo trying to call for the ball. Gets it way deep in the post. And he blows the layup and he gets his own rebound. And he makes it, taking a 2-point lead for the Detroit Pistons. I don't even know who I'm rooting for here. I think Detroit. Just because they've been such a surprise. They were supposed to be one of the worst teams. And then they immediately go out and pick up Paul George. And then they pick up Carmelo Anthony. They kind of been a feel-good team so far. So I think Detroit has my vote. Of course, you can't feel bad about rooting for Milwaukee. They're always a fun team. Michael Carter-Williams always getting way too many touches here. Karl Anthony Towns getting it at the high elbow, going into the post, backing down Andre Drummond. And now Chris Middleton trying to ISO up on Paul George, one of the best defenders in the NBA. Giannis comes for the screen. And, oh, Paul George says, get that shit out of here. Back-to-back blocks for the Detroit Pistons. You know what? I'm definitely rooting against the Bucks because Jason Kidd is the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think outside of Steve Nash, one of the worst head coaches in recent NBA history. Melo trying to getting D'd up by Giannis Antetokounmpo. Tough matchup for him. Kicks it out. Paul George going to try to go around Chris Middleton. No ball movement here. Paul George pulls up a tough contested 2. Not a great possession for the Detroit Pistons. MCW coming the other way. And Chris Middleton cutting backdoor. I don't know who missed him, but he just dunked all over Melo and dunked all over Marcus Morris. Did not see the backdoor cut. We got a tie ball game here at 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. Melo just going right up and around Giannis, but he blows the layup. Giannis coming in transition. And Melo, not known for his defensive prowess, is going to have to try to lock down the future MVP. They're going to Karl Towns, who's being D'd up by Marcus Morris. And he blows the jump hook. Wasn't even close. Didn't even hit the rim, I don't think. Now Melo has the ball. Gotta grab the screen from Andre Drummond. Deep drop coverage for the center, Karl Towns and Melo. Oh my God, he just pulls up. And he misses, but Andre Drummond is there with a tip. Bucks need a timeout. No, they don't. Never mind, I'm crazy. Karl Towns bringing the ball up the court the other way. That's an interesting move. Okay. I don't know what this play is, but it's a 4-5 or a 5-4 screen and roll looking like the Denver Nuggets. And then Karl Towns throws the ball away like a doofus. Marcus Morris Sr. is dribbling down the court. Nobody picks him up. And he goes and he gets fouled. 18 seconds left in the game. Morris has the potential to put them up 4 with a couple of free throws here. First one is up. And in. 3-point game. Next one to make this a 2-possession game. And he makes it. Bucks call their last timeout. 18 seconds left. Milwaukee is in desperation mode. They are struggling to find their offense. Karl Towns making boneheaded plays. Michael Carter-Williams being on the court. And the pass is into Karl Towns yet again. Greg Monroe is ball handling. Finally gets it to their point guard. And they're just running out of time. MCW pulls it up. Monroe picks up the rebound. Giannis kicks it to MCW again like he's Steph Curry. I don't know what they're doing, but the Milwaukee Bucks have lost in brutal fashion, 117, 113. Not a great game from Giannis. He only had 13 points in 40 minutes. Chris Middleton was serviceable, 20 for him. Michael Carter-Williams, what are you doing? Jacking up threes like he's Steph. Jared Bayless weirdly had a good game. Miles Plumlee doesn't look like that, and Karl Towns had a couple of bad possessions and a horrible turnover in the clutch as well. Andre Drummond gave you a 28 and 15 game. Can you believe it? Paul George, 18. Carmelo, 18. Aaron Baines gave you 15. Reggie gave you 13, and KCP as well, 13 points for the winning Pistons. And this Pistons squad just continues to get better. They got Reggie, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Giannis, only an 85 overall at this point, and Andre Drummond, who is good still, up to an 87 overall now with the overall boost. What a weird squad that Detroit is building. Similar to Atlanta, they're just surprising and shocking every team here. And the Milwaukee Bucks, gone, get off the map. And Detroit, man, look at all of this area. What is happening? Press the button. Look at all of this area officially. Detroit basketball. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams are left in NBA Imperialism. And let's go on to the next one. Make sure the Milwaukee Bucks get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. And do we want to do Warriors again? I guess we're fine with that. What direction do the Warriors want to go? What direction can the Warriors go? They don't have a lot of opportunities here. They can take a couple states, or they're going to have to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Spin, spin, spin the wheel. Which way do you want to go? And we look at the map, and that looks like I will give them this state. Wyoming. Yeah, we'll give them Wyoming. That seems respectable, and they can get a nice overall boost. Boom, a little something like that. Make sure their logo grows just a smidge. And who is going to get the overall boost? Steph Curry's already a 99 overall. Probably going to be Klay Thompson next, right? He's already a 95 overall. Bump him up to now a 96. Pretty good squad they built here. 99 Steph, 96 Klay, 95 Cliff, 94 Boogie, 91 Green, 91 Lillard. What is happening? I don't want to be in these plays. How can I get what? Okay, there we go. I don't know what the hell happened there. Anyway, going back to the wheel. 6 teams left. Who's going to be next? And it looks like the Oklahoma City Thunder are making a phone call. For some reason, the Celtics always get neglected in these wheels. So you look at the Thunder, you say, okay, lot of potential for them to take on the Warriors. Also a lot of opportunity for them to grab some free states here as well. Spin, spin, spin the wheel. Which way do you want to go? That looks pretty clear to pair to me. Yep. Let's do it. Thunder Warriors is going to be one heck of a matchup like it was in real life, but this time these teams are even better than they were before. So you got Russell Westbrook versus Stephanie Curry, MVP versus two-time MVP. Then you got Kawhi Leonard versus Klay Thompson. Great two-way players. I think Kawhi's better than Klay, but you know, in 2K, it's comparable. Andre Iguodala versus Kevin Durant. Two similar types of players athletically, but Kevin Durant obviously much better than Iggy ever was. Draymond Green versus Serge Ibaka. The overalls don't match, but I think over his skill sets, Draymond's a little more versatile, but he's also 6 foot, 6'5". I'm trying to make the argument for Draymond Green over Serge Ibaka, but not by much. And then Steven Adams versus Boogie Cousins is going to be a mismatch, but Boogie can't play defense where Steven Adams can. He's also an offensive rebounding machine taking place in the Chase Center here in San Francisco, right? They play in San Francisco now, no longer Oakland. The Golden State Warriors versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Thunder win the tip. Russell Westbrook bringing the ball up the court, being picked up by Steph Curry, who's a defensive liability. Bruss pulling up from 3. I think the Warriors will live with that sort of decision. You got to give the ball to Kevin Durant on the first possession of the game. Draymond Green being picked up by the aforementioned Kevin Durant. Not really sure what's happening here. Steph Curry just dribbling the ball, looking for an open shot. Doesn't really have one. He's taking it anyway, though. And he misses. And that's kind of why Steph Curry's bad in 2K, because he doesn't take good shots in real life. And but foul on Steph Curry. That was weird. Anyway, we have the Thunder inbounding the ball. And I don't know who I think is going to win this. I'd hope that the Thunder win, just because they do have more 90 overalls on their team. They've got Cliff Paul and Damian Lillard backing them up as Kevin Durant misses a 3, as well as Boogie Cousins coming over as well. I mean, there's just so much talent on this Thunder, on the Thunder and the Warriors squad, but Boogie Cousins in the post. Wow, he's going to bully that poor man known as Kevin Durant. The Slim Reaper had no chance. Boogie's a good 250, I would say, while Kevin Durant is like, what, 195, maybe 200 pounds, dripping wet. Russell Westbrook running the offense, getting a screen from Serge Ibaka, and Steven Adams has an open two, doesn't take it, pulls up from mid, misses off the glass, and Steven Adams has the offensive rebound, misses, and then puts it back up with the reverse dunk. Steven Adams, relentless intensity on the offensive glass, and we got a tie ball game here at 2 apiece. 10 minutes, 40 seconds left in this one. Klay Thompson kind of open, didn't take the shot, now he does, and missed. Yeah, the Splash Brothers are not good in simulation CPU for CPU. When you're playing, they're great. Killer Klay for the Blazers franchise is unreal. Imagine if we had Steph, but in-game, not so much. Russ gonna be open from 3, doesn't take it. Kevin Durant running off a screen, and he's open from 3. He does take it, and he splashes from 3, and we'll hop into Simcast here for the first quarter. The Thunder jump out to a lead. Interestingly enough, the Warriors, I guess this is the first real competition for the Warriors, maybe this side of the LA Clippers, and the Thunder are dominating right here, going into halftime, almost a 20-point lead. Warriors need to turn this around and go on a little bit of a run, and it looks like they're still coming up a little bit short, still a 15, 13-point game. No lead is insurmountable in 2K, but it's now a 20-point lead, and the Warriors look like they might be falling victim to Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look at this scoreboard. Wow. 129-104, and there you have it. The Golden State Warriors are upset, and that's because Steph Curry plays horrible in simulation. Boogie Cousins had a strong game, 23 and 17 for him. Klay Thompson gave you 18, Stephanie Curry gave you 15, Iggy 11, Cliff Paul 11, Draymond 9, 9 and 6. Really pathetic performances from the whole team not named DeMarcus Cousins. As for the Thunder, Russell Westbrook was incredible, 28, 7 and 19. Gallo gave you 28 points. Kevin Durant gave you 23. Kawhi Leonard gave you 16 and 9. Serge Ibaka gave you 11 as well. So who do we take from the Warriors now? Steph Curry's going to come over 99 overall at this point. We're going to do a little roster manipulation yet again for the second time for this Thunder squad. So Kevin Durant going to bump up to a power forward. We're going to have Steph Curry jump up to the shooting guard role where he's only a 96. Why is that? And then Kawhi Leonard going to jump up to the small forward role. Or we make him a power forward and keep Kevin Durant at the 98 overall small forward. I think that's going to work for the overalls department. I don't know why Steph Curry drops 3 overalls, but now Kevin Durant with his 1 overall boost officially joins, bam, the 99 overall club. And let's say we keep Steph as a point guard so he can be a 399 overall squad. And then what does this look like? Steph Curry with Russ off the bench. That's not what I want. I want Steph Curry to play the 2 guard so he can just shoot as many threes as necessary, but he's undersized. That's a problem defensively. Whatever. This is going to be the new look team. Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Steven Adams. 299 overalls, 196 overall, 195 overall, and a great bench behind them to back it up. The Thunder are starting to look mean, and they are, after taking down the Golden State Warriors, the new favorites for NBA imperialism as the Warriors are gone. And look at the Thunder taking over all of this West Coast. Look how big their logo is. Gonna have to meet the Cavaliers, though, at some point. And I like how the Celtics are just here. They're like, yeah, we're just watching. You guys are having a good time over there, aren't you? Golden State Warriors, get the hell off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. And then there was 5. One of them is the Atlanta Hawks, who have been actually pretty strong throughout the entirety of this rebuild, or this imperialism video. Hawks gonna take on the Cavs, or got a couple empty states available to them as well. Let's go ahead and see what the Wheel of Fortune has in store for them. And we're gonna go ahead and give them Mississippi. Mississippi. That works for me. And there you go. Red on orange isn't very appealing to the eyes, but the Atlanta Hawks starting to grow bigger. Who's going to get the overall boost? Probably Al Horford again, right? He's already up to a 90 overall. Can we get him up to a 91? Who knew that Al Horford was going to be going up precipitously like this? Boom, boom. Al Horford, 91 overall. And let's go to the next team on the wheel. That is going to be spin, spin, spin the wheel. And it looks like the Detroit Pistons. coming up next. I still don't know why the Celtics aren't getting selected, but hey, I didn't develop the wheel. I just spin it. We're just going to have to spin the wheel and see which way, or spin the arrow and see which way it wants them to go. It's going southeast. That looks like Kentucky to me. I might not be a gambling man, but that seems like Kentucky gets some of 1 overall point. Filling that up with Detroit, burnt blue. And yeah, well, they don't need a logo size boost. They're already freaking huge, but we'll go ahead and give them that 1 overall boost. And I guess that's more Andre Drummond overall points. He's up to an 87 overall. Now going to be an 88. It's so funny. Al Horford and Andre Drummond are just developing like crazy, while you still got Carmelo Anthony and Paul George here. Next spin of the wheel is bam. And it looks like the Boston Celtics are finally going to have a turn. It's been a long time since they played. Don't forget, these are the Isaiah Thomas Celtics. So it's not like they're a horrible team. They just haven't had a lot of opportunities. So Maine is still waiting to be taken. Vermont, yeah, totally Vermont. Also here. And then the Cavaliers are waiting in the wings. They're saying, come on, Boston. You know you want to play us. You know you want to trade us Isaiah Thomas. And we're going Vermont with that. Is there more overall points? Always seems good to me. Get some of these empty states off my damn map. Fill this up with the green of money. The green of those goddamn Celtics. You say Celtics or Celtics? And we'll go ahead and boost Isaiah Thomas now up to a 93 overall. Who would have thunk that? Next on the wheel. Looks like it's going to be the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm looking at this map and I'm thinking we're going to have to fill in basically a lot of this middle America states. There's like maybe whatever freaking state this is. Missouri, Arkansas? Yeah, Arkansas. We'll be filling in Arkansas, Maine, and Rhode Island. But it looks like for the most part, we're going to be doing these manually because these teams do not want to play each other. Anyway, Atlanta Hawks next up on the wheel. What direction do they want to go? And they're going south. You can't really go that way. You kind of have conquered that part of America already. So let's try this again, Atlanta. Let's try this again, Atlanta. And can they go north at all? Not really. Just spin the wheel again. Come on, Atlanta. Give me a normal direction. North? I can work with that. That looks like Hawks at the Pistons to me, right? I'm not crazy. I don't want to call this the battle of the mids, but there's a lot of, we'll call it interesting matchups here. You got Kemba Walker versus Reggie Jackson. Don't forget John Wall coming in off the bench. Victor Oladipo versus Paul George. Carmelo Anthony versus Thabo Sefolosha. Al Horford versus Giannis. And Marc Gasol versus Andre Drummond. Two teams I certainly did not expect to last this long through really a lot of battles against other teams. We're in this weird spot of the NBA where there's only a couple superstars. There's Kevin Durant, there's Steph Curry, there's LeBron James, and basically those teams. And then the rest didn't really have superstars. There wasn't a bottleneck of Giannis and Embiid and Jokic at the time. Anyway, the Hawks do in fact win the tip. Al Horford trying to get filthy on Giannis, takes a tough two and misses. That is why Al Horford is not a 99 overall. Now he's trying to D up Giannis Antetokounmpo. Going to be a tough matchup for him, but Giannis can't shoot. Paul George being picked up by Victor Oladipo, size disparity there, and pulling up for three is Reggie Jackson. Missing, not a great shot probably. Thabo Sefolosha bringing the ball up the court the other way, not what you want to see if you're a Hawks fan, but now Kemba Walker has the ball, ISO'd up on Reggie Jackson. Hezzy move, passes it, Marc Gasol falling out of bounds, doesn't know what he's doing, comes back inbounds. Remember, Marc Gasol had that costly turnover. And gets blocked. Well, here you have it. Reggie Jackson. Dita. What is happening? This is so boring. Paul George pulls up for two. He misses. Somebody score. Fuck. I thought this was going to be a better matchup, but it's just two mid teams that I don't really care about. No offense. Reggie Jackson bringing the ball up the court the other way. Like Giannis isn't a 99 overall. So Paul George is the highest rated player on the court who's like 93. Andre Drummond setting the screen. Paul George pulls up for three and misses. Everybody's missing. Victor Oladipo comes down with the rebound, kicks it up to Thabo Sefolosha, who's still in the starting lineup, and then he just throws it away stupidly. Again, 10.5 minutes in the first quarter, 0-0. Brutal. Reggie Jackson pulling up for 3 again. Missing again. I'm getting all worked up, and nothing is happening. So it feels like I'm just wasting energy here. I'm wasting precious emotion. We ain't got a lot of that in 2023. Why is Al Horford trying to post up on Giannis? It doesn't go well. We're almost 2 minutes into the game, 0-0. Reggie Jackson gonna run the offense. My offense would be give it to Carmelo Anthony and let this man go to work. He's open. Thabo Sefolosha plays good enough defense, and Melo misses. It's still 0-0. They're saying the Pistons are on a scoring drought. Both teams are on a scoring drought, 2K. And we're playing on professional, I think, right? Well, I try to change the difficulty to professional so it's more interesting. No, that's probably why. Let's drop it down to pro. And an in and out. Still 0-0. All right, 9.5 minutes in the first quarter. Nobody scored. Andre Drummond is ball handling. Now Giannis is ball handling. Not a lot of spacing for this Pistons squad. Reggie Jackson running the offense, and he's going and kicking it to an open 3 for Melo. Misses. Everybody misses everything. Good stuff. Why is Thabo Sefolosha handling the ball? Former Thunder, interestingly enough. And we have Victor Oladipo passing up on a 3. Can't really tell if he had a good shot there because the camera angle is terrible. Kemba Walker iced up on Paul George, and now Thabo's open. Not. 5-4. This is a terrible game. I should get a refund for watching this game. Another miss. I know. Shock. Surprise. Andre Drummond grabs the rebound. Melo bringing the ball up the court the other way. We're almost 4 minutes into the game without a single score. Melo, step back. Money. And that should be the game. We should just give the championship to the Pistons for scoring the first bucket because good freaking Lord. Anyway, going into the fourth quarter, it's about a 9-point lead here for the Pistons. Gonna be close. I don't know if we're gonna hop in about a 10-point lead. Now the Hawks need to go on a run. Only 3 minutes left. Still 10, still 8. There's time, but the Hawks just could not put together any offense. Maybe that's because they scored 0 points in the first 4 minutes of the game. Hawks come up short. Reggie Jackson had a good game. I'm getting whistled at. Marcus Morris Sr. gave you 17. Paul George, 16, 8, and 6. Melo gave you 16 on 18 shots. Ugh. Giannis gave you 15, 7, and 7 on 16 shots. Oof. Aaron Baines was good, and Andre Drummond gave you 19 rebounds. Oh boy. Marc Gasol had a good one, 23 and 10. And look how happy he is in the character creator here. Kemba gave you 16, 4, and 7. Big Al Horford gave you 15 and 14. And Victor Oladipo gave you 12 and 4. But ultimately not enough. The Hawks come up short, 111-101. So I think we're going to send over John Wall. You look at this, he's slightly a higher overall than Kemba Walker, not a defensive liability. We could send over Al Horford, but there's already too much size on the Pistons. You look at their squad, they have boom, boom. You got Andre Drummond already. You got Melo, you got Giannis, you got Paul George. So point guard is really the biggest need for this team. And their team's going to look like this now. John Wall, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Giannis, and Andre Drummond. Certainly a formidable squad. I don't know if they're still, beating LeBron level, but up to an 89 overall is Andre Drummond, who's now a two-way inside the arc scorer. Who would have thought that the Pistons would be dominating? But here you have it. Hawks officially gone. You are out of NBA imperialism, and the Pistons have officially built a wall of America here. So the Cavaliers are going to have to go through Detroit. Not that they can't, but it seems like the Cavs aren't getting a lot of run here. So we have 4 teams left on the list. Look at the wheel. Boom. Get the Hawks off of my wheel. The spinner gets thinner. 4 teams remaining. Boston Celtics are one of them. So are the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cavs finally going to get their turn. Look at the Cavs. They can go through Detroit, and they can go take on the Celtics. Pick and choose. It looks really like they're going to be taking on the Pistons because the Pistons surround them completely and totally. But hey, you never know. The wheel may be a predictor of who gets what, when, where, and why. And is that Celtics? You know what? For the sake of it, what I'm going to do is say this is Celtics. We'll say the Cavaliers are sitting right here on the East Coast. And we'll say Cavaliers at Celtics just for the storylines. Kyrie Irving getting traded in the future to the Celtics. But right now they are the enemy. And it's really just the Celtics plus Brad Stevens versus the entirety of LeBron James. Now they have Brook Lopez as well. But you got Kyrie Irving versus Isaiah Thomas. Definitely one of those two players that are connected throughout history, although none of them have really done anything since the trade occurred. J.R. Smith versus Avery Bradley. Jay Crowder's an 84 overall. Who'da thunk? But LeBron 99 overall. Kevin Love versus Amir Johnson, and Brook Lopez versus Tyler Zeller. I'm wondering if the Cavs win, and when I say if, it's more of when the Cavaliers win. Do you move Isaiah Thomas to the 1 and then play Kyrie Irving at the 2 so you get all the 90 overalls on the team? Or do you play Isaiah Thomas off the bench as like a bona fide spark plug? Because he's so undersized defensively, it is a problem. Anyway, you got Avery Bradley being picked up by J.R. Smith. IT trying to run off some screens, create. Not going to be able to do. Oh, he just blew right by Kyrie Irving, kicks it to an open Jay Crowder, who passes up the open 3. What are you doing? Now he has to shoot with LeBron in his face and misses. Jay Crowder hesitant. That's going to be pivotal in a single elimination game like this. Brook Lopez being picked up by, who is the Celtics center? Cody Zeller, right? Was that who we saw? Kyrie Irving dribbling the ball. Just dribbling. Going around Isaiah Thomas, and look at J.R. Smith being wide open under the basket, puts it up and in. Unfortunately, I don't need to see the highlight. Thank you. I know what a layup looks like. I don't think this one's going to be competitive. You never know, but the Celtics have a lead here in the first quarter going into the second quarter, and the Cavaliers take the lead right back. Here we are at halftime, about a 10-point game. Going into the fourth quarter, closer than I expected, 88 to 83 right now. Maybe this is one of those games where we actually do hop in. For whatever reason, LeBron isn't great statistically in simulation, and we might have the Cavaliers facing elimination here, starting to pull away. We're gonna hop in, 3.5 minutes left. It's 102.99. The Cavs have a 90 overall Brook Lopez, 99 overall LeBron James, 94 overall Kyrie Irving, 90 overall Kevin Love, and they're struggling right now. And why is LeBron not even in the game? Kyrie Irving running off some screens, gonna be wide open for 3 and misses. Oh, that would have made it a 6-point game. Isaiah Thomas come back the other way, and he just goes around Kevin Love. Made that man look silly. Put him in the spin cycle, IT. Look at him. Whoop. Kevin Love doesn't know what he's doing with his damn life. And we put LeBron in. Am I crazy? Why is LeBron James not in the game? LeBron has 17 points, 39 minutes, and 5 fouls. I don't care. Put him in regardless. This is an elimination game. Kyrie Irving, wow. Behind the scoreboard, behind the backboard, doesn't matter. Answers right back. We got a 104-101 game. And this is one of those moments, man, where Kyrie Irving has to put the team on his back. Take him to the promised land. Otherwise, they're going to come up short. I think LeBron is back in the game. Let's see as we scroll over here. And, yeah, LeBron is back in. That makes sense. Kevin Love defends that well. Isaiah Thomas just too short, man. 5'9" isn't going to cut it in today's league. Kevin Love running up the court. J.R. Smith had an open 3. Pass it up. Now it's Kyrie Irving versus Isaiah Thomas. Kyrie Irving has the advantage here. IT, not known for his defense. Not known for standing, really. Kyrie Irving just lays it up like it's nothing. Cody Zeller isn't good enough to help. And is that Amir Johnson on the team as well? I'm just surprised that this game was actually close, because the Celtics squad talent-wise is nowhere near the Cavaliers. But hey, they ain't broke if it ain't 2K. Got Isaiah Thomas being run into by his own man. That's good offense. And IT pulling up from the elbow. Bang! Isaiah Thomas spark plug off the bench. Cavaliers need a timeout. Cavs bringing the ball up the other way. They have a 3-point lead. They have a 99 overall. Goat James at the peak of his powers. LeBron passes it. And that's an easy 2 points for J.R. Smith. Avery Bradley got caught sleeping on the backdoor cut. I guess it wasn't really a backdoor cut. I don't know how you would describe that. Isaiah Thomas calling out a play here. Going to be picked up by Kyrie Irving. There's no offensive creation whatsoever outside of Isaiah Thomas, so I'm not sure what they're going to do here. Long 2 for IT, and he misses. Needed that one bad, and now they got to play some defense. Down by 5, 1 minute, 37 seconds left. Kyrie Irving running the show and just isoing up on poor Isaiah Thomas here. Goes around, goes through, steps back, jumps over, makes it. Couldn't even put a hand in his face because his hands are too short. Unfortunate for the little Isaiah Thomas. IT's one of those guys that I wish was like 6'5", and I would have loved to see his game as he gets blocked pathetically. Looks like Cody Zeller puts it back up though. Still only a 5-point game, but they got to play some defense. Like, could you imagine a prime 6 foot, we'll say 6'6" Isaiah Thomas in the NBA? Ooh, that man would have been filthy, but look at him just get shook by Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie misses the layup. Not a layup, more of a floating jump shot, 2 feet away from the basket. Bit of a weird animation, but here's Amir Johnson. Okay. And finally, they can get the ball to Isaiah Thomas. Nobody else is even able to remotely score for this team unless it's not a putback. But here's IT fading 3. Oh, that would have cut it down to 2. And now they got a foul. Tristan Thompson, though, is the one who gets the ball. And 42 seconds left, 5-point game. Are the Celtics going to be committed to the foul game, or are they going to try to play this out and get a defensive stop? J.R. Smith kicks it all the way up to Kyrie Irving, who's going to go around IT yet again. Jump shot in, and Kyrie Irving went electric, went dynamic on this Celtics squad. Isaiah Thomas unable to play defense. And IT's got to score a 3-pointer quick here. Avery Bradley was open, doesn't take it, takes a long 2 instead, and in and out, and that is going to be game. Sorry to the Boston Celtics, but they just fall, ironically, short. Isaiah Thomas gave you a good game, 22 points on 27 shots, 14 assists. Avery Bradley was actually pretty solid, 22 for him. Jay Crowder, 15 points, 10 for Johnson, Zeller, Tyler Zeller, and Evan Turner, still in the NBA at this point. Kyrie Irving, as you saw, was electric in the fourth quarter, 30 points for him. Kevin Love gave you 18 and 12. LeBron gave you 17, 7, and 11. Brook Lopez only gave you 7 and 9. Wow, so I didn't even make the change, and they want Isaiah Thomas to start and Kyrie Irving to play the 2 guard. I was honestly kind of hoping that Isaiah Thomas would come off the bench, but Kyrie Irving now up to a 95 overall, and unfortunately, the Celtics are gone. Cleveland hasn't played too many games. You look at the map, they haven't really taken over a lot of territory just yet, but they certainly will be. Trust me, they are lying in the wings, waiting to dominate and waiting to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who did knock off the rival Golden State Warriors. So we have 3 teams left: Pistons, Thunder, Cavaliers, and basically it's Thunder, Cavaliers. The Pistons are here for moral support, but we'll see. You never know what happens. And I kind of like this last time, so we'll do it again. We'll fill out some of these empty states. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What we're going to do is give everybody 3 overall point boosts, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 states available. So what I'll do is we'll cut Maine in half. You know, we'll say Maine had a war, and now there's North Maine and South Maine, and Cleveland Cavaliers get to take over both of them. Okay, just so we can make this work a little better. So boom, boom. Cleveland gets 3 overall boosts. Then the Pistons are going to get these 3 states here: South Dakota, Nebraska, and I think Kansas, if I know my states correctly. I might not. I might be talking out of my butt. You never know. 3 states there. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder going to get Montana, going to get Washington, going to get North Dakota. And we'll go ahead and give everybody those 3 overall boosts. So Kyrie Irving is now a 98 overall. Very impressive. And we'll keep boosting Andre Drummond, now up to a 92 overall. Who'd have thunk it? And then lastly, we'll go to the Thunder. Kevin Durant, already a 99 overall. Kawhi Leonard, already a 99 overall. Stephanie Curry, nah, we'll give it to Russell Westbrook. Russ is now a 98 overall point guard. Russ is 1 point away from being a 99. Can you imagine? Russell bleeping Westbrook has a 77 3 and a 78 free throw shot. All right, we have 3 teams left. We've cut out all the slack. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Detroit Pistons, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who is going to be next on the wheel as the Pistons? Gone. Get off my wheel as the spinner gets thinner. Did I remove the Pistons? I meant to remove the Celtics. Hold on. As the Celtics, gone. Get off the wheel. We got Pistons, Thunder, and Cavs. And the wheel of justice and fortune spins. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are next. Again. Really, there's only one way that they can go, and that's to take on the Detroit Pistons. So we'll just go ahead and do that. I'll spin the wheel, spin the arrow, just so we're official, we're formal. We make sure that everything is done. And oh my gosh, look at that! Now they're gonna take on, the Pistons. So we got Cavs at the Pistons. Here we go, Cavaliers at Pistons. Isaiah Thomas versus John Wall. Kyrie Irving versus Paul George. Carmelo Anthony versus LeBron James. Kevin Love versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. And a 93 overall Andre Drummond versus Brook Lopez. I'm worried about the Isaiah Thomas mismatch, but for the rest, the Cavaliers should probably dominate this game. Kyrie Irving looking happy to be here. And really what I'm hoping for is that the Cavs win. They can bring in Paul George to be the shooting guard and then move Isaiah Thomas to be the backup point guard. But that is all in the future as we are in the second to last matchup of NBA Imperialism. Cavaliers, Pistons, and of course the Thunder waiting for their chance, their opportunity to shine. And we got an open three-pointer here for John Wall, making it rain. Isaiah Thomas bringing the ball up the other way. Didn't know John Wall could shoot the three, but hey, this was back when he was healthy and good. LeBron James running off a screen. That was a weird pass that the ball kind of floated up into his hands. Bron versus Melo, one of my favorite matchups to watch all the time. And we got Brook Lopez, Splash Mountain for three, answering right back. Man, this is going to be a fun game to watch. Unfortunately, we'll only watch the first few minutes as we got John Wall bringing the ball up the other way. Isaiah Thomas looking short out there. He's going to try his hardest on defense, but that just ain't enough as John Wall pulls up and splashes in his damn face. 5-3 here, better than 0-0 the Hawks and the Pistons were when they played. Good Lord. Isaiah Thomas getting glitchy here, dribbling, just dribbling. Gonna grab a screen at the elbow and pull up for a long two, and he answers right back. John Wall and Isaiah Thomas going at it. Hopping into Simcast here, and the Cavs jump out to a huge lead. Going into halftime, and it's a little bit closer here, 72-71. Gonna pop over to the third quarter, and the Cavs have about an 8-point lead here. Is it insurmountable? No. 8 points, 7 points, low scoring fourth quarter here. Now it's up to 10, 5 minutes left, up to 6. Yeah, the Pistons need to go on a little bit of a run here. 2 minutes left, 9-point game. It looks like the Pistons are gonna come up a little bit short. 8-point game, 6-point game, back up to 8, and there you have it. The Pistons lose 126-118. John Wall played valiantly, man. 30 points, 2 rebounds, 11 assists on 23 shots, but it just wasn't enough when Marcus Morris was his number 2. Paul George did not have a good game. 7-13, 15 points for him. Andre Drummond also had a mediocre game, and that's why all those overall boosts were kind of useless. But hey, 15 and 11. Carmelo was pretty quiet as well, 14 for him. As for the Cavaliers, Kyrie Irving was good, 31 for him. LeBron gave you 23, 8, and 16. Brook Lopez gave you 18. Isaiah Thomas had an interesting 16, 8, and 7 stat line. Tristan Thompson gave you 14 off the bench, and Kevin Love gave you a 10 and 10 performance. Now the Cavaliers are going to look like this. Kyrie Irving, Paul George, LeBron James, Kevin Love, Brook Lopez, Isaiah Thomas coming off the bench with Timofey Mozgov, Tristan Thompson, and J.R. Smith. Don't forget to give Kyrie Irving his 1 overall boost, now officially joining the 99 overall squad alongside GOAT James. And that'll do it, man. With no surprises, the Detroit Pistons are gone. Cannot compete with the likes of a LeBron James, and there are 2 teams left in NBA Imperialism. On one side, you got the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were able to knock off the Golden State Warriors. So this isn't a classic Cavaliers Warriors finals, but it is Cavaliers Thunder. Thunder did have the Warriors down 3-1. Don't you ever forget it. Now it's time to see who's going to be on the offensive, who's going to be on the defensive. Let's spin the wheel one last time to see who's the home team and who is the away team. And the Cleveland Cavaliers look to be on the offensive. So the Oklahoma City Thunder will have home court advantage for this final epic conclusion to NBA Imperialism 2015. Just a final peek at the rotations. You got Kevin Durant 99 overall, Kawhi Leonard 99 overall, Russell Westbrook 99 overall, Stephanie Curry was a 99, now he's a 9-8 overall, and then it falls off a bit. Danilo Gallinari, Steven Adams, Serge Ibaka, Andre Roberson. As for the Cavaliers, you got LeBron James 99 overall, Kyrie Irving 99 overall, Isaiah Thomas 95 overall, PG 13 95, Kevin Love 92, Brook Lopez 92, and then they fall off to Tristan Thompson and Timofey Mozgov, J.R. Smith, whatever. I made this Game 7 of the NBA Finals just to make sure that it's as interesting and as hype as we get. We got the classic blackout uniforms for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kyrie Irving versus Russell Westbrook in their primes, heck of a matchup. Steph Curry versus Paul George. LeBron James versus Kevin Durant is the matchup we all want to see. Kevin Love versus Kawhi Leonard, who's a 99 overall, and Brook Lopez versus Steven Adams. I don't know who's even going to come close to winning this game. What I do know is that LeBron isn't always the greatest in simulation running with Simcast. So I think probably Kevin Durant and the Thunder take this if I had to pick almost an over and back for Kevin Love. But here is Kyrie Irving bringing the ball up the court, playing defense, and we got PG-13. dribbling, pulling up over Steph Curry, and that might be a problem for the Thunder because Steph Curry cannot play defense. He's also not great in simulation in his own right, so it's kind of Steph versus LeBron. Who's weaker in Simcast? Steph stepping back, pulling up from the three-point line, and missing. Not great, but there's LeBron James bringing the ball up the court the other way. 2-0 right now for the Cavaliers. Kyrie Irving just pulls up in Steph Curry's face, and he misses. Kevin Love trying to tap the rebound, does not get it. Kawhi Leonard bringing the ball up the court the other way. Don't forget that Kawhi is a 99 overall. So is Russell Westbrook. There's just so much talent on the court right now. Russ getting an ugly jump stop, but there you are with the putback. Steven Adams, back when he didn't have the beard and the long hair, Steven Adams looked like a schoolboy when he was first drafted. It was him and like Nick Collins had the funny look. Kyrie Irving pulls up, misses embarrassingly, and this is off to a rocky start. Are we on pro difficulty here? We are. They just don't want to score. That's fine. Maybe we should put it on rookie. Steph Curry just dribbling around everybody, gets fouled. Paul George just holds his arm. I don't know what that was. Inbound pass goes to Russell Westbrook in the corner, kind of trapped a little bit. Here's Kawhi Leonard kicking it. Does Kevin Durant finally get his first touch? And there it is, being D'd up by GOAT James, 99 overall. Kevin Durant just trying to ISO. Look at him go through, draw the foul. LeBron James already in foul trouble. 1.5 minutes into this game as Kevin Durant is going to make his free throws. No surprises here, going 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and the Cavs need to respond down 4-2. Kyrie Irving running the offense here, kicks it to an open Paul George for 3, in and out, halfway down, but Kevin Love on the glass, and Kevin Love puts it back in. Two of the best rebounders, Kevin Love versus Steven Adams, going to be going at it all night for offensive putbacks. And don't forget Brook Lopez, Tristan Thompson going to come out the bench, and Russell Westbrook goes right around Kyrie Irving. What are you doing, son? Look at the explosion, prime Russell Westbrook. And LeBron looking to respond with the Cavaliers. Hasn't really put his impact on the game yet, still feeling it out, trying to decide where he needs to assert himself, where he needs to let the team run on its own. Kevin Love was open for 3, did not take it. Now he's going to give it back to LeBron, getting a screen from Brook Lopez, does not set a good one. And Kyrie Irving going to have to bail them out. 5, 4, 3, 2, long 2 for Kyrie, and he misses. Kind of an ugly start to this game 7 here. Winner of NBA Imperialism. Kawhi pulls up from the elbow, and that's just not good defense. Kawhi Leonard says, calm down, you know who I am. And the Thunder have doubled up the Cavaliers' points here. 9 minutes left in the quarter. Kyrie Irving trying to go around Steph Curry. No, that's Paul George. Had a shot, and that's Brook Lopez pulling up with a hand in his face. Probably not the shot that head coach David Blatt of the Cavaliers wanted. That's right, David Blatt is the head coach still of the Cavaliers. Y'all remember that. Or it might be Ty Lue at this point. But Russell Westbrook gets his shit rejected by Splash Mountain. Kevin Love coming up the other way. Had a couple options, and he's throwing an oop. Kevin Durant sniffed that out, snatches it out of the air, and he's dribbling, and he's going to pull up right here. I can feel it with KD. Miss. Kevin Love grabs the rebound. Kind of a low-scoring, ugly game here as well. Doesn't matter how many 90s are on the court if you can't make your shots. Kevin Love dribbling. Now he's going to post. Now he's going to pass. Not a lot of ball movement here, but Kyrie Irving kind of open, pump faking. Got Steph Curry, and he just tries to shoot over him and does, and we're going to hop into Simcast finally. Bit of an ugly start to this one, but the Cavaliers jump out to a little lead, back and forth game here, and we'll go to the first quarter. Really high-scoring contest, 37-33 quarter. Going into the second quarter, hopefully the Thunder can make this a little bit competitive, 62-59. Good enough going into halftime. They're at the 70s, almost at the 80s. This is feeling like an all-star game. Only a 5-point lead here in the third quarter, and the Thunder need to respond. They're down by 5, and there you have it. Now they've taken a little bit of a lead here in the third quarter as we go into the fourth, almost tied up. What a game 7 this is, 100-97, 99-100. We'll hop in with about 5 minutes left in this one and just watch them ball out. Cavaliers take a lead as we jump in, and somebody's got to pass the ball in. There you go. 105-104, 5 minutes left exactly. Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard being picked up by Kevin Love. That's a mismatch, but Kawhi just passes it. And Russ is going to miss this jumper. Pretty ugly shot. Kevin Love bringing the ball up the court the other way. I don't know why Kevin Love is rocking the point forward position when you have a LeBron James. But hey, look at Kevin Love throw it down. 3-point lead. I talked all that shit, and then he went right around Steven Adams. Steven had no answer for the agility for the smoothness of a Kevin Love. Russ looking to respond with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder fans are quiet. They've got home court advantage, and it's not working. Kevin Durant has been open. That's a contested three. And LeBron puts a hand in his face. He was open, but Russ really slow on the decision-making there. Was not giving the ball up quick enough, but Kyrie Irving is open, and he's going to splash. 6-point lead for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Thunder need an answer fast. You got Steph Curry, you got Kevin Durant, you got a 99 overall Russell Westbrook. You got to make something happen. You got a 99 overall Kawhi Leonard, and here you go, elevator door screen for Kevin Durant, and he misses, but Steven Adams is on the glass. Steph Curry did not have an option or an angle to shoot there. He's just dribbling. He's tired. He's stepping back. He's 3 in the key. 5, 4, 3, 2, pull up. Kevin Durant missed. In a tough stretch right now for the Thunder. Not generating good shots. Not playing good defense. Ooh, there you go. Deflection from Kevin Durant. Got some transition offense here. This is where Kevin Durant pulls up. Instead, he tries to throw an alley-oop to Kawhi Leonard. What are you doing? That looked exactly like how it did in the Warriors-Cavaliers consecutive finals where he pulled up in LeBron James's face, but instead he tries to throw an alley-oop to a Kawhi Leonard who's sitting in the paint. I don't know what the AI was thinking, but here's Kyrie Irving breaking down Russell Westbrook. Clock is ticking, and I don't know what happened, but he just animated inside of Russ, misses the layup. The doors are still wide open for this Thunder squad if they want to compete, if they want to win Imperialism, but they need to start scoring. They've been stuck at 104 for a couple minutes now. Steven Adams passes it off to Kevin Durant, who kicks it to the post. We got a mismatch. Kawhi over Kyrie Irving for 2 points, down to a 4-point game. Kawhi Leonard having an okay game at this point. And we got Kyrie Irving. No, that's Paul George bringing the ball up. LeBron is really taking a back seat in this game, but I guess they do have the mismatch PG versus Steph Curry, rhyming accidentally. And Kyrie Irving trying to come up with some offense here. Gets the screen from Kevin Love. Pulls up. Contested 2. Doesn't matter. He is ice cold. Kyrie Irving is a killer. Leading the game and scoring for the Cavaliers. 22 points on 16 shots. Hyper efficient Kyrie Irving, as he is wont to do. Kevin Durant looking to respond. Gets the screen from Steven Adams. And he's pulling up from 3. And he's missing. Oh, the Thunder needed that. Kevin Durant is not clutch. It's confirmed. And Paul George throws it down over Steven Adams, getting this poster with no defense from Steph. Paul George with authority. And it's now an 8-point lead with only 2 minutes left. Steph Curry is gassed. The Thunder are starting to look desperate. Steph is pulling up, and he's missing a wide open jumper. Oh, boy. The Thunder starting to look like their hopes are fading. The game is pulling away from them. They're struggling. They're rumbling. They're tumbling. And LeBron is going to go and barrel his way down. Nope, he kicks it to Kevin Love. Pump fakes. Doesn't have a shot. Kyrie Irving going to have to take this with late. 1 second left in the shot clock. And he splashes! Hand in his face. Kyrie Irving is clutch. Clutchest man in the NBA. Kyrie Irving looking like he did in the real finals. Makes a 3. And now it's an 11-point game with only 1 minute left. Kawhi Leonard trying to force something, make anything happen, and the Thunder still cannot buy a bucket. Transition for the Cavaliers. LeBron smartly pulls it back out. He's going to waste some clock. There's only 1 minute left. And Paul George goes right around. Steph Curry pulls up, and Steph Curry is a liability on the defensive end. The Cavaliers have pulled away, and this is going to be NBA Imperialism victory for King James and the Cavaliers. Kevin Durant trying to make something respectable out of this, but they're down by 11. 48 seconds left. It's going to be too little, too late. Kyrie Irving brings the ball up the court to try and drain the clock. Don't do anything stupid. And this one is over. There you have it. Steph Curry, yet again a liability on the defensive end, gives up a backdoor dunk for Paul George. And that's going to do it. 123-108. The Cleveland Cavaliers overcome the Thunder's comeback hopes. Kevin Durant comes up short. Steph Curry comes up too little. And the Cavaliers, in their blackout uniforms, black out the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are the champions. LeBron James is crying. Cleveland, this is for you. Isaiah Thomas is here too. I completely forgot about that, as it doesn't matter how many 99 overalls you have on your team. You don't have LeBron James. And you don't have Kyrie Irving because this man was electric, dynamic in fourth quarters. He just completely clutched this one out. Richard Jefferson is hype. Robert Covington, you remember the 76ers victory is hype. And the Thunder fans are in disbelief as here is the championship trophy celebration going to, this is supposed to be David Blatt, for what it's worth. David Blatt and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who's going to be the MVP? Is it Bron or is it Kyrie? Because every game that I watched, Kyrie Irving was the one who closed it out. I think it might be LeBron James, but I would give it personally to that bad man, number 2. And there you have it. LeBron's hand is going to go through it like it doesn't even matter, phasing inside of trophies. And LeBron James is, in fact, the finals MVP. And just to put a little icing on the cake, we'll make sure that we go into Photoshop and say thank you for everything that you have done, Thunder, but you are gone. The Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James are the victors of 2015 NBA Imperialism. That is going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.